Prepare yourself to play. Get ready to come in when you have to come in.
Here's the contrast in the weather conditions here in San Francisco. 59 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. Yet in Green Bay at 12 degrees and a wind chill of -3. And I'm sure the Packers would have preferred to play this game in the cold, frozen tundra. But they're glad to be here playing the 49ers. Packers have won the toss and they will receive. So it'll be a few moments at least before we see Jerry Rice in action for the 49ers. Jeff Wilkins will kick off for San Francisco. Antonio Freeman, spectacular last week in kick and punt returns for the Packers, and Travis Jervey, 2 rookies back for the Green Bay Packers. Freeman is number 86.
Got to tell you, looking at this field, this is the best I have seen Candlestick Park at this time of the year in a long, long time.
And Wilkins begins the game with a short kick. And it's bobbled and picked up by Travis Jervey. And Jervey ganged up on at the 26-yard line.
Boy, I tell you how good the field looks, and here comes the kickoff, and the first thing that happens, he slips, and it gives him a terrible kick. Watch him comes up. He's going to go with try to get that plant foot in. No field there to plant on. Watch this. Right out.
49er kickers came out a couple of days ago and experienced the slippery field. So Brett Favre, the MVP of the National Football League, and has garnered just about every honor in the league this year. Packers will start from their 26-yard line. Play action pass on the first play. Dorsey Levens out of the backfield picks up good yardage on the first play. 7 yards gain for Green Bay. Favre, counting last week's 3 touchdown passes, 41 for the season, an amazing total. The offensive line and the focus on the rookie Adam Timmerman at left guard, replacing Aaron Taylor, who is lost for the rest of the season. Edgar Bennett, Robert Brooks, and Mark Shimura having their best career years. 2nd down and 3. There's Adam Timmerman from South Dakota State. Edgar Bennett gives it to Robert Brooks on the end-around reverse. And Brooks has a first down as he gets close to midfield before Dana Stubblefield brings him down in a gain of 15 yards.
You know, so much is talked about Mike Holmgren knowing this 49er team. The first thing he's doing to this defense is wants to get him off balance. He's going to remind him, you have to stay at home. This is right here. This is all in Ricky Jackson. So Ricky Jackson gets way up too tight, and that allows Brooks to come around, and then Favre out there trying to throw a block. Not much of one.
So a first down at the 48-yard line. Rookie William Henderson, who did a tremendous job blocking last week, has come in to join Bennett in the backfield. Edgar Bennett loses yardage. Back to the 46, a loss of 2. Ken Norton Jr. and Bryant Young in on the play. Defensively for the 49ers, number 1 overall, and the force will be in the middle with Dana Stubblefield and Bryant Young. The linebackers, Gary Plummer had his best year. Ken Norton and Lee Woodall going to the Pro Bowl. In the secondary, Marquez Pope got better as the year went on, and Davis, McDonald, and Hanks also going to the Pro Bowl. 2nd and 11 from the 47 of Green Bay. Handoff to Bennett. 49ers number 1 in the league against the rush. No gain on the play. Dennis Brown with help from Stubblefield.
Well, there's no gain because of the play of these 2 tackles right here. And this is the key to this 49er run defense. Dana Stubblefield and Bryant Young are all pro caliber guys. Stubblefield, of course, going to the Pro Bowl. But when their game is on, that secures the middle. And that allows a guy like Ken Norton to be able to run clean and make plays.
3rd down and 11. Favre's pass is caught. Antonio Freeman, who has come on and made an impression as A fourth wide receiver, rookie from Virginia Tech. And let's see where they spot the ball, and it is a Packer first down.
Well, Ricky Jackson got the pressure and hit the hand, but what a great job by Antonio Freeman coming back to this ball. I'm going to tell you something. Antonio Freeman is going to be a great player in this league. I mean, I don't know how great he could be, but he has this kind of ability. It's big play ability. He showed it last week, and he's showing it again right now.
First down on the 49ers, 42. Another play action. Marquez Pope was blitzing, and the pass is caught by Mark Ingram. And a short gain of about a couple of yards, but Marquez Pope was coming in from his cornerback position.
You know, when they started the season, Green Bay Packers sat down, and Mike Holmgren said, we will be as good as Brett Favre will be. Well, Brett Favre has had himself the most valuable player year. And Brett Favre is the key and the catalyst to this team. Now, Reggie White says, every now and then, it's a guy's turn up in the barrel. He said, right now, it's Brett Favre's turn, and we have to ride him.
Two wide receivers set to the right, Brooks and Ingram. Second down and 7. And the give is to Bennett. In his fourth year from Florida State, and having his best year, going over 1,000 yards, picks up 1. So right now, Green Bay has not been able to establish any kind of a running game.
Yeah, but I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to establish what they're going to do. And Edgar Bennett plays a big part of that. And they're running inside for a reason. Edgar Bennett is most effective catching the ball and running. I mean, he's an all-around player. And it's that all-around ability that's really expanded this offense.
4 wide receivers. NFL's best on third down conversions on 3rd and 6, and the pass over the middle is complete to Antonio Freeman. And the Green Bay Packers continue to move the sticks. Tim McDonald, after a gain of 8, making the tackle.
Well, you talked about how well Favre will play will determine what they're going to do. If this is any kind of indication, the Packers got to like what they see. Then the other thing you have to be aware of, you haven't seen in this first drive at all, Robert Brooks. And so what the 49ers defensively are trying to do are take away Brooks. But Holmgren's saying, look, have him. I got Antonio Freeman. You don't even know how good he is.
This is the 9th play of the drive. Brooks did figure in reverse earlier. Ball is at the 30-yard line. Edgar Bennett. Or just a couple of yards. But Mike Holmgren has told us all along that in order to establish the run, you have to continue to go to it, even if it doesn't get any dividend.
Yeah, and he said he learned that in San Francisco when he had Roger Craig. He said you still have to try. If you don't try, they have no respect whatsoever. So you have to go with it. So what he's doing right now, he's still attacking inside. And what he's doing, attacking the strength of that defense. And so it'll start to draw people in, and then you work the perimeter.
Alfred Williams, pass rusher, number 91, has come in, former Bengal, 2nd down and 8. Edgar Bennett off the right side. And Ken Norton Jr. in the open field prevents a bigger gain. It was just a pickup of 2 yards for Bennett.
And that's the strength of Ken Norton right there. And anytime you can get a body on Norton inside, you can really render him. He can't do anything. And so when you can get him running sideline to sideline, you protect him, he can run, and he's a good tackler. When you free him up, that's when he's most effective.
And a lot more comfortable in his 2nd year after coming over from the Cowboys. 3rd and 6. Packers are 2 for 2 in 3rd down conversions thus far. And with the clock running down, Brett Favre calls a timeout. The first of the game. Packers have had possession since the start. No scores.
This Fox NFC Divisional Playoff Special is brought to you by IBM, Solutions for a Small Planet. By Saturn, a different kind of company, a different kind of car. And by Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth.
Packers called their first time out of the game, and Steve Young waiting in the wings for his first opportunity. Scoreless game, and it'll be 3rd down and 6. 2 tight ends, Keith Jackson and Mark Shimura in for Green Bay. This is the 11th play of the drive that started on the Packer 26. Mark Shimura in motion. Favre's pass is knocked down at the line. Dana Stubblefield got a hand on it, and that'll bring up 4th down. And Chris Jackie will come in to try to give the Packers a lead.
That was good presence by Stubblefield. They went with a quick protection to his side, and he had the presence to be able to get his hands up and knock that thing down because he had a one-on-one with Robert Brooks and Marquez Pope.
Chris Jackie has missed 3 of his last 8 attempts. He was 1 for 2 last week against the Falcons. This will be a 44-yard attempt with Craig Hentrick holding. And the kick is blocked. Getting a hand on it was Tim McDonald. So McDonald thwarts the Packers' bid to take the lead. It is still no score, and we'll be back.
I want you to watch Darius Holland right here. And he gets put on an island because the outside guy has to come out and take Burton Hanks. Holland has to take 2 people, and then Tim McDonald is able to leap that thing and hits him right in the head.
That's the second time this year, once in the regular season and once now that McDonald has blocked a field goal attempt. 49ers on offense for the first time. First down from the 34. Swing pass to Adam Walker, and it is ruled a fumble that is picked up by Newsom, and Craig Newsom will score for the Packers. Adam Walker is playing with a broken thumb that is in a cast. And he caught the ball, lost it, and Craig Newsom, the rookie from Arizona State, runs it in, and the Packers have stunned this crowd with a defensive touchdown.
You know, and you watch this Packer team in the middle of the season, you said if they have any chance to win, what they've got to be able to do is tackle. Simmons comes up and puts his hat right on the ball, and then this is just heads-up football. I mean, you're looking at this thing, and you got to go back on your VCR and rewind it. You say, hey, this is almost the same start that happened to Dallas a year ago, except it was San Francisco with the big turnover. Simmons put his head right on that ball, and then Newsom ran it in.
It's been the 49ers who have scored the defensive touchdowns this year, 7, but now the Packers come right back at them.
You know, you can't blame that on the thumb because that ball was in the other hand, in the good hand. You have to say that's just a great football play by Simmons to get his head on the ball. And then, on the other thing, Harris Barton is down. He got hurt on that play.
Harris Barton suffered a concussion in the last regular season game 2 weeks ago. It's in Atlanta, and I don't know what injury this is, but it had been bothering him. Had headaches as recently as 2 days ago.
I just talked to him before the game. I just talked to Harris right before the game, and he said that he still was having headaches.
2 alert plays on that by Simmons and Newsom, who scores to give the Packers the lead. An early exit for Harris Barton, clutching his leg, taken off the field.
Taking on Reggie White, then he just gets rolled up on the back by John Yurkovich. Right there.
Chris Jackie with the extra point, and the kick is good. A 31-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown, and the Green Bay Packers lead the 49ers 7-0.
This Fox NFC Divisional Playoff Special is brought to you by Nissan. It's time to expect more from a car.
You know the guys on either side? Wayne Simmons, who made the big play and the hit on Adam Walker to force him to turn it over, and the touchdown for the Packers. Craig Hentrick kicking off into the end zone, and it's down there by Dexter Carter. And the 49ers will go on the offense for the second time. So a missed field goal and a fumble recovery for a touchdown. And Steve Young, who was the MVP a year ago in the National Football League, having an outstanding year, missed 5 games with injury. Harris Barton obviously hurt. Rod Milstead has moved to right guard, and Kirk Sprafford now at right tackle. There's the backs and receivers, and of course Jerry Rice is the main man for the Niners. First down from the 20. Hand off to Derek Lavelle, who's had the job this year of taking over for Ricky Waters, who's had a fine year for the Eagles. Defensively for the Green Bay Packers, and they're delighted to have Reggie White at defensive end, although he'll play inside at times as well. Simmons already with a big play, joined by George Kuntz and Fred Strickland. Doug Evans and Craig Newsom, who scored the touchdown. Leroy Butler and George Teague in a secondary that has played very well as of late. 2nd and 9. Dexter Carter in motion, and here's Lavelle, and he's going to be dropped at the 21-yard line by Leroy Butler. Very tough safety playing the run.
Well, you know, they talk about changing the pace of the game when you play the San Francisco 49ers with that offense. They have a tendency to come out and be real fast, and they get you on your heels. What Fritz Shurmur has done, the defensive coordinator for the Packers, is he's going to take it to him. And what he's doing right now, he's changing his coverages, going some blitzes, just like we talked about at the beginning of the game. Not letting them settle in on one thing so they can't take advantage of it.
There's Stratford now playing tackle. Started the game at guard. 3rd down and 9. Steve Young's pass to Lavelle. He can't hold on to it. He was covered by Butler, but he dropped the pass, and that'll bring up 4th down. And right now, Seifert 49ers have hardly had the ball on offense.
Yeah, and when they have had the ball, they're getting different looks. I mean, this time, Fritz Shurmur takes a shot, and he says, look, I'm going to put my rookie on Jerry Rice, and we're going to make you find it. So he's disguising his coverages, and he's going to make Steve Young have to read the whole field to find the open guy.
Tommy Thompson will kick from about the 5. Antonio Freeman with a 76-yard punt return for a touchdown against Atlanta last week. Fair catch called for by Freeman on the 37-yard line. So field position should be meaningful in this game, and the Packers have good field position here. That was a 41-yard kick. Of course, tomorrow, the other half of the divisional playoff at Texas Stadium. The Philadelphia Eagles, who own one of the wins against the Cowboys, against the Dallas Machine.
And I think anytime you have a Ray Rhodes defense, you have yourself the chance. And remember, just a few weeks ago, the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Dallas Cowboys, so they go down there knowing that they can win.
Harris Barton over on the sideline. Packers will come out with 2 tight ends from their 38. Green Bay leads 7-0. Favre has time, and wide open down the middle is Keith Jackson, the veteran tight end who joined the club in November after being a holdout, and a big gain of 35 yards with Merton Hanks defending.
Well, you're going to see Chamora come in motion. Here's Keith Jackson just going to come down, find the middle of the field. Tell you what's going to happen with this film. They're going to take this tape, and they're going to send it around the league, and they're going to say, this is the way you go after the 49er defense. Watch what Mike Holmgren does. He goes play action, he makes those linebackers bite up, then he brings the tight end right behind him.
First down on the 27. Audible call. And a fade pattern, and it's caught by Brooks. Out of bounds, pushed there by Davis. And the Green Bay Packers, impressive in this first quarter against the Niners, pick up 21 more.
Well, you heard Jimmy Johnson talking about the audibles at the beginning of the game. Here's your audible. And if those defenders are listening, you have a chance. But when the ball is thrown this well, and when Robert Brooks is able to get this outside position, that fade just falls right into his arm. It still comes down to execution.
102 catches in the regular season for Robert Brooks. First and goal for Green Bay. Here's Edgar Bennett. Not much there. Gary Plummer came up to force the play, and it'll bring up 2nd and goal, but normally the Niners have the opposition on its heels. It's the other way around thus far here. Packers have been successful first in the NFL in red zone offense, and the 49ers #1 defensively when teams are inside the 20. That's for touchdowns now. 2nd and goal coming up from the 7. There's a pump fake and a pass. Flag is down. Reggie Brooks. Robert Brooks was the intended receiver, and let's see if they call Marquez Pope for interference.
Holding, number 23 defense. Half the distance to the goal line.
Bob McElwee, our referee today.
Well, they have Robert Brooks on this side for a reason. And they want to try to go after Marquez Pope. You could see the hand on the shoulder pad, which slowed him down. speaking to Mike Holmgren yesterday, he felt that the one guy that they could go after was Marquez Pope. And not because he's not playing well, but because the rest of the defenders, especially in the secondary, are really playing well.
Pope was a safety, played with the Rams, converted to cornerback, and improved as the season went on. Niners, rare for them, -2 yards, and the Packers over 100. First and goal on the 3, and a play fake, the pressure, and the pass. Touchdown to Keith Jackson. And the Packers have totally taken this game away early from the 49ers.
Well, they wanted to change the pace of the game defensively, and the best way to do it is keep the 49er offense off the field and then score some points. Because now what you've done is you've made them have to chase you, and it gets them out of their game plan. This whole thing comes down to Brett Favre. And Brett Favre is able to find that crossing tight end, and he throws this thing perfectly.
Keith Jackson, who joined the club in November and played behind Mark Shimura with a 3-yard touchdown catch, and Chris Jackie with the extra point. And this capacity crowd is stunned. Brett Favre with a touchdown pass, and it's the Packers in front, 14-0. Packers lead the 49ers 14-0 with 4:13 to go in the first quarter. Brett Favre has completed 7 of 8, including the 3-yard strike to Jackson and a defensive touchdown early on. And that's following a missed field goal. So the Packers have really had the ball, I think, for all but a couple of minutes in this first quarter.
But you know what's really impressive? See, he's moving the ball around. They have Robert Brooks. They have Edgar Bennett. He knows making a play. Antonio Freeman. And then Keith Jackson, not Shimura. And I think that just shows the maturity of this Green Bay Packer team. They're not locked into one guy. Favre's moving the ball around.
And the depth of this team. Hendricks kick. Dexter Carter on the return. And Carter is stopped just shy of the 30-yard line by Jeff Thomason. And right now for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
Dick, impressive today also was Pittsburgh, 409 total yards. O'Donnell to Ernie Mills. Touchdown strike made it 14-0. They win by 19 and advance to the AFC title game next week. Let's take it back to Dick and Matt.
A shocker so far, JB. The 49ers have had the ball less than 2 minutes offensively. Jerry Rice in motion. They got to get the ball to him. Young flips it to the tight end, Brent Jones. And Jones makes the catch, and it should be a 49ers first down.
I want you to watch Brett Favre this. He's going to stop, and he's going to come right back, and then right here, he's just going to come down and set inside. All this is set up by Brett Favre. You go with the play action, and then see you put the safety, and the corner walks up here. Safety's got to get all the way out. Can't get there in time. Favre sees him to score.
And I'm sure the 49ers feel they don't have to hurry up. They've got plenty of time. They can still be patient. 2 tight ends, and Jones and Ted Hobson. First down at the 39. And the pass intended for the tight end Hobson overthrown. Here's the way the 49ers have gone with their first 2 possessions. A fumble in which the Packers returned it for a touchdown. And Harris Barton injured an ankle in the process, and then 3 and out on their second possession. 3:20 remaining in the first quarter. Second down and 10 at the 39. And Lavelle gives it to Rice. Steve Young walking in front, and Jerry Rice dives short of the first down by about 5. John Yurkovich, the personable inside lineman, making the stop after a pickup of 6.
Yeah, Yurkovich is one of those guys, kind of reminds me of Jim Burke, always up and down the line. Real smart guy. The guy always has an answer for you, any kind of situation, political, you ask him whatever you want. You know, ask him about family matters to balancing the budget. The guy always has an answer.
I may vote for him.
I think I would too.
Third down and 5. Again, 2 tight ends for the Niners. Pressure up the middle. Butler blitzing, and the pass is caught for the first down. Jerry Rice makes it by about a yard at midfield.
You see who tackled him there? John Yurkovich. And that's another look that Fritz Shurmur has given him. This is kind of out of character for the Green Bay Packers. Because what they've done here is they've gone to that zone blitz. You can see Jurkovec right here, 64. Now he's got to look up Jerry Rice as he comes inside. And that's something, you know, you've got to take your chances on. This time, 49ers win.
And the rookie Darius Holland from Colorado has replaced Jurkovec at defensive tackle. First down. Young gets hit from behind by Leroy Butler. Butler has had a very strong second half of the year. It's ruled incomplete. But the Packers were sending their safety.
Watch him down below. Leroy Butler is going to be coming off the corner, and he's going to come unimpeded. Nobody touches him. Now, this means you're taking chances down the field. When you do that, that generally means man coverage. Now, Rice knew where he wanted to go, but Butler was able to get the hand on and knock it down.
Fritz Shurmur loves this chess game. Second down and 10. Rice in motion. J.J. Stokes is in the game, and slipping is Derek Lavelle. The field slippery with the new sod here at, we'll call it Candlestick Park if it's okay with you.
Fine by me. It'll always be Candlestick Park to me. But you remember last week when Madden was talking about in Green Bay that you had to know your own dirt? Remember that? Well, see, now this is a little bit different. The 49ers have not been on their own dirt. The team that's been out here have been the Packers. They came in yesterday and worked down on it to get a feel for it. This is the first time that the 49ers are on their dirt.
Third down and 13, 3 wide receivers for San Francisco. And no one back in the backfield as Lavelle goes in motion. Young scrambling. Steve Young gets hit from behind by Fred Strickland. And a big loss on the play, and he could not find a receiver downfield.
What great coverage all over the field. They just plastered. You know what happens? They're going to go man coverage. Watch Newsome. Gets away with a little jam. Jerry Rice gives him one back. Now here's the breakdown. So what do? This is called plastering technique. You have to stay on everybody. Now you have Jerry Rice, then you have to also plaster on Brent Jones. And he turns him over. As Jones wheels back, here comes a defender from the top to let him know that he's there. And then the thing that makes this whole thing go is Steve Young's ability to make you miss and his feet. But because of the coverage downfield, he couldn't find anybody. And then that allowed Strickland to have the great hustle, come all the way down.
Gilbert
make
Brown
the play.
got hurt. Here's how it happened. Number 93.
He just went airborne there. That's a lot of body to go airborne.
So they're tending to Gilbert Brown, but so far Fritz Shurmur has had all the answers for the San Francisco offense, and they have totally bottled up except for one decent play to Jerry Rice, and the game has been dominated by Mike Holmgren's Packers.
Watch as Strickland comes, Gilbert Brown goes over the top. Kind of gets whiplash. See how his helmet comes flying off? And then we're talking about how the Green Bay Packers are having their way right now, but you know, Fritz Shurmur has been here before. And he's been in big games against the 49ers, and he's been up, and he's had his players playing well, only at the end to have the 49ers come back. And he made an interesting point yesterday. He said sometimes you can do everything right, but because of guys like Jerry Rice and Steve Young and their athleticism, sometimes scheme doesn't make a difference. It comes down to the player, and they make the play.
Fritz said, I got a lot of holes in me trying to stop the Niners over the years, but he has had some success. He ended the 18-game winning streak that the Niners had when he was with the Rams, and a big win for the Cardinals over the Niners. Fourth down after the loss of 5. Tommy Thompson with his second punt of the game. Antonio Freeman is back. A good high kick. Freeman returning from the 15, bounces off the defender, and is finally dropped at the 27-yard line by Kevin Mitchell. What happens when 3 of the biggest stars in Hollywood get together? Well, you get one of the most explosive action films to ever hit the screen. Sylvester Stallone, Sandra Bullock, and Wesley Snipes star in a world broadcast premiere, Demolition Man, on the Fox Tuesday night movie. 33 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The 49ers have never trailed by 2 touchdowns this season. That's what they're behind now as the Packers go on offense again from their 28. Edgar Bennett. And he'll lose about a yard, and it was Dana Stubblefield. Stubblefield and Young. You won't find 2 better defensive tackles in the league.
And also Gary Plummer in there. I think Gary Plummer had his best year as a pro. I thought he played extremely well. And, you know, he's a workout freak. In fact, I was talking to him the other day. He's telling me all this stuff. I said, hey, you know what? You're Jack LaLanne. That's who you are. I mean, you're 81 years old, and you're still going.
And that'll do it. That is the end of the first quarter. Here in San Francisco with the score, the Packers 14 and the 49ers nothing. These aerial pictures courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Eagle based in Carson, California. Today's pilot, Joel Chamberlain from Norwood, Massachusetts. And the cameraman is Glenn Hampton. And beautiful day to be up there in the blimp. As we start the second quarter, Dick Stockton and Matt Millen. Packers with a 14-0 lead and a tremendous edge so far. Ball control has been the story for Green Bay. Second down and 11. Bennett goes in motion. Pressure on Favre, and the pass underneath, caught by Mark Ingram. And that'll bring up 3rd and long. With pressure from Ken Norton, one of the linebackers.
You know, when you look at Brett Favre and you see him scramble, that's what really worried this 49er defense. And you spoke with Pete Carroll, their defensive coordinator. He kept on saying, you know, we can take care of a lot of things, but what we can't account for is when Favre takes off. Because that arm is so strong, he can get away from things by going deeper and still make the same throw.
Look at his record with the 12 wins. 36 touchdown passes, only 3 interceptions. 3rd and 9. Alfred Williams pressures Favre, and the pass is caught by Anthony Morgan. Morgan alternates with Ingram in the starting assignment each week. It was Ingram's turn today, but Morgan with a 20-yard reception and a first down near midfield.
Yeah, and what a throw by Brett Favre. Now he's getting the pressure. Williams is going to beat Earl Dotson to the corner. He knows he's going to get hit. That's the toughness of Favre. And then not only knowing you're going to get hit, but watch where this ball is. Perfectly thrown, right where it has to be.
And as you mentioned, what Pete Carroll said, the danger with Favre when he's running is he can throw deep and accurately. First down on the 49 of the Packers. Edgar Bennett cutting inside, and he gets into 49ers territory. And a small gain, Gary Plummer with the stop.
The other guy who's really helped this Packer offense as I've watched him is William Henderson. That guy is a tough guy. And he doesn't even know how good he's going to be yet. Just a rookie, a big guy. I mean, it's a big, thick, solid guy. Last week, he put Jesse Tuggle on his rear end about 4 or 5 times, and that has just given him confidence. Now he's going out there looking for people to hurt when he's blocking him.
3rd-round pick from North Carolina, and you're seeing a lot of young players, including rookies, already playing a role today in this playoff game. Second down and 8. Favre fires. Keith Jackson inside the 15-yard line. Once again, Favre had a scramble, and he threw a bullet. 35 yards to Jackson. Davis and McDonald brought him down.
Well, the reason he's able to do this is because of the protection up front. Remember we talked about Adam Timmerman and the inside and how they were going to be able to take care of that pass rush? Well, right now, they're doing a great job. And because he can step up in that pocket, he's able to find Jackson, again, matched up against the backers, and make a big play.
Keith Jackson already has 3 catches for 73 yards and a touchdown reception. Ball at the 14 of San Francisco on the draw play. Edgar Bennett looking for running room, and not much there. That's been that story today, and Ricky Jackson was there.
But see, there's another side to that story. So if you're at home, you go, why the heck do they keep on running inside? The answer is very simple. See, they're going to keep attacking inside, and they're going to make those linebackers bite up. They're going to force them to be aggressive. And then when they go play action, they bite up. That's when Keith Jackson comes clean down the middle.
You have to make them honor the run. Second down and 9, the ball at the 13. Play fake with time.
Touchdown.
Touchdown. Mark Shimura. So the two tight ends have caught two touchdown passes today. Keith Jackson and Mark Shimura. And the Green Bay Packers on a tremendous roll. Lead now 20-0.
They're going to bring Brooks down, and they're just going to try to cause confusion. Now watch it. They're going to sit back. They're trying to match this thing up. Did you see Brooks just get that bump on Tim McDonald? That's a pick that went undetected. And because he picked him, Favre is able to say, we're number one.
Now, how confident and assured he was yesterday when we talked to him. No nervousness, it seemed, at all.
There's some nervousness up there right now, I'll tell you.
Chris Jackie with the extra point is good. And the Packers have totally stunned the crowd and the Niners. 21-0. Favre already with 2 touchdown passes.
This bud's for you.
A silenced crowd here in San Francisco. Mark Shimura with his second touchdown reception of the playoffs. And it's 21-0. Believe it or not, the Packers in front. Kendrick kicking off. Dexter Carter returning from the 5. Finds an opening. Carter has the punter to beat, and there's a flag down the back of the 25. There is a penalty marker way down, and it'll be against the 49ers. And that'll nullify a huge gain that the Niners needed badly. That would have been 61 yards, but Bob McElwee will call it back.
On the run back, number 53 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Anthony Peterson committing the penalty.
That's a big penalty. That's exactly what the 49ers needed. They needed themselves a little kickstart. Dexter Carter gave it to him. Peterson took it away.
The old story is maybe he wouldn't get those yards if Peterson doesn't commit the foul. In any event, the 49ers, instead of starting deep in Packer territory, will be on their own 21.
Right there.
Brent Jones in motion. Young pass to Lavelle. And pushed out of bounds by Mike Pryor and Wayne Simmons.
Now, Shimura gets the touchdown. Robert Brooks is the guy who makes the play. This is Tim McDonald. Brooks is going to come down, and he's going to pick him just enough of a bump to allow Shimura to get to the end zone. See how he sets him up? There's the bump, the pick. There's the open man. For more on that, let's go down to Ronnie Pitts on the field.
Hey, Matt, you're right about those picks. From where I'm at on the field, you can see them real good. They've been going on all game long. Marquez Pope has complained to the official 2 or 3 times about it. As long as they don't call them, they're going to keep running them.
Second down and 3. Rice not been a factor so far. Steve Young can't find a receiver. Fires it, throws it away, but the Packers secondary doing a tremendous job so far.
Yeah, you know what they do? Right now, what they've accomplished is they've got Steve Young out of rhythm. They've not been able to get Steve Young into the flow of the game. Now, part of the reason is because they're banging their receivers, which you have to do. Watch Brent Jones, who's a big part of this offense. They're not going to let him come down clean. That's a nice job by Wayne Simmons, and that's what you have to do. That's how you play. He's sitting there in zone. He knows he's knocked him down. Now you plaster and turn on him. You got your receivers down. There's no place to throw that football.
Third down and 3 from the 28. And the Packers will use their second timeout here with 10:28 remaining in the first half. The Green Bay Packers, the underdogs in this game, have come out and stunned the crowd, and they've totally dominated the 49ers on both sides of the ball, puzzling head coach George Seifert after a missed field goal. A recovered fumble for a touchdown and 2 Brett Favre passes for scores, and Fritz Shermer so far has had the Niners number. It'll be third down and 3 at the 28 with the score 21-0.
Great play. You see that?
Quarterback.
Yeah, but did you see how he did it? They came up to the line of scrimmage, and Steve Young gave him that look like he's going to go into his cage, and then he just goosed him. That's the old goose play. You get up there, you pinch your center's rear end, and then you go. And what happens is the defense doesn't have time to set. See this? He just takes it and goes. Just get behind him, Heck, you pick up 5 yards and an easy first down. That's good heads-up play.
On the 36-yard line with under 10 minutes to play in the second quarter. Steve Young's pass, and intended for John Taylor, and it's ruled incomplete. Taylor starting this game, and now tempers flare. Looks like Brent Jones got in the middle of that one. Taylor getting a chance to start, been out with a bruised hip, and this is the final season of his terrific career.
And you're looking at that defense and the way they're playing, and then you have to go back and you say, all right, you're down by 21, what do you do? And then you look at Jerry Rice, and you say, he's got 1 catch. You say, we've got to get the ball back to Jerry Rice's hands, no matter what they're doing. Now you go into that thing, move him around. Line him up different spaces. You've got to get him open and get him the football.
Matt LaBounty has replaced Reggie White at defensive end, 2nd and 10. And the handoff, and nothing doing. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio and an update on the Don Shula situation.
All right, Dick, we've been showing you snapshots of Don's great career here. Wayne Huizenga last Christmas Day congratulating Don as he sets a career regular season win marker 319. Pam Oliver will talk with Don Shula coming up at halftime. Right now, let's take you back to Dick and Matt.
A truly great coach who deserves all the accolades.
I completely agree, and he didn't deserve the way they treated him this year.
3rd down and 11. Here's Jerry Rice. Only his 2nd catch. Mike Pryor, and of course with Rice, you want to prevent the run after the catch and short of the first down by a yard.
Playoffs have been big for the Green Bay Packers secondary. They have been tackling very, very well. The 49ers know you got to get the ball to Rice because he's dangerous. Whenever he catches that thing, you never know what's going to happen. This time they run that quick slant. They're going to let his legs try to beat you. Pryor came up and made the play. That's a big play by Mike Pryor.
So with 4th and 1, Tommy Thompson will kick it away. Antonio Freeman back deep for Green Bay. Freeman looking up in the sun, calls for the fair catch inside the 10-yard line. That's a risky proposition. So the Packers will start with a long way to go when we return.
I want you to watch what's going on right here. See, they go 3 receivers up top. They're trying to draw the safety in the coverage over here because Jerry Rice is all by himself. But Fritz Shermer kept the safety in. They're not going to let Rice beat him. So you turn him back inside, and then you've got to make the tackle. There's the key. Pryor makes a big tackle and a big 3rd down play.
Fritz Shermer has had all the answers thus far, but it's a long game. First 3 possessions for Green Bay. Field goal was blocked, and then 2 touchdowns. First down from the 9-yard line of Green Bay, their worst starting field position of the game. Barnes pass, the slant pattern to Robert Brooks, and Brooks has his footing. Robert Brooks out of bounds into 49er territory, and they got out of trouble on 1 play.
Go back to the championship game a few years ago. This is a play right out of Norv Turner's book from Dallas. This comes right from Jimmy Johnson. Remember at the end of the game, they had to stop him. They had the 49ers down here. They went with the quick slant with pressure. Brooks makes the catch. A few years ago, it was Harper who made the big catch. Same result.
So that was a 53-yard pickup and a first down for the Packers on the 38. Here's Edgar Bennett with the blockers in front. And Bennett gets inside the 35-yard line. Good gain on first down. And right now, for a report on Harris Barton, who was injured earlier, let's go down to Ron Pitts.
All right, guys, the report is the x-rays were negative. It is not a break, but he does have a sprained left ankle. Once again, not a break, but a sprain. The bad news for the 49ers, he won't return, and that could be very big for them up front.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Ronnie. Very big, because that's one of the leaders up there. And he's also one of the guys who controls all the calls on that right side.
21-0. If you've just joined us, that score is right. Packers lead the Niners. 2nd and 4. Dorsey, Levens. And Levens will lose 1.5 yards, and that will bring up 3rd down. Alfred Williams Quiet from Cincinnati made the play. Let's check the comparison between Brett Favre and Steve Young, the MVPs of this year, Favre, and last year. Young with only 30 yards passing thus far compared to 210 for Brett Favre.
Yeah, and they've got Young out of sync. And they just kind of got him on his heels. The same thing that offense tries to do to your defense has been reversed.
And he hasn't had a chance to be in there that long to get a rhythm. 3rd and 7. Swing pass to Levens. And a good tackle is made by Tim McDonald. And that'll bring up 4th down. A loss of 2. So no chance for any possible field goal attempt. And Craig Hentrick will come into the game to punt.
Well, you can really see the confidence growing with the Green Bay Packers. Series by series, play by play.
And Ron Wolf, their general manager, who's done a great job, said that Packers cannot claim anything unless they are able to win a big game on the road. And this is their first test like that this year. Carter back, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback. 49ers will start from the 20, trailing 21-0. 5:39 remaining in the first half. The Packers lead the 49ers 21-0. Our Aflac trivia question today: what is the largest comeback win in NFC playoff history? Gabe Wilkins has replaced Sean Jones at defensive end. 5 defensive backs for the Packers on first down. Three wide receivers, and Steve Young has time, and he's going deep but overthrows Carter, who claims he was held by Craig Newsome.
Yeah, I think he got away with one there. I think Newsome had a jam about maybe 10 yards down the field.
Al Jury, the back judge, listening to the appeal from Carter.
That's good aggressive play by Newsome. You know, the thing with penalties, I got to tell you, when you play in this league, the first thing you're taught are the rules. And then the second thing you have to learn is how to break them and not get caught.
Terrific season the rookie Newsome has had, and we saw it in the bigger games of the year. 2nd and 10. Stokes and Rice are the 2 wide receivers on 2nd and 10. And they were trying to get it to Brent Jones on a crossing pattern. George Kuntz was closest to the ball, and that will bring up 3rd down.
Boy, I'll tell you what happened. Brent Jones comes off the ball and does a real nice job. Watch him right here. Leroy Butler's going to come. He's going to bump him off, and then watch Yurkovich from the inside. He sees it and says, forget it, I ain't letting you run clean. Take a gut. Takes a gut right to the chest, and that takes care of the whole coverage. Well, Yurkovich is dropping back there in coverage. They have to start calling him a DB.
He won't mind that.
Yeah, for double belly.
The Packers have been the more physical team by far. 3rd and 10. Young nearly slipped and passed, caught by Brent Jones. And the biggest gain of the day by the 49ers, 29 yards to midfield with Doug Evans defending the tight end.
I want you to watch Kirk Scrafford working on Reggie White. Reggie White's going to come up the field. Now, Scrafford just gets those big, long arms on him. Remember, White is playing with a knee on one side and a hamstring injury on the other side. And then watch the coverage. All Evans had to do was turn and look, and he had himself an interception. Rule number 1 in man coverage, you look when the receiver looks. Had he done that, he'd have had a big play.
Jerry Rice has caught only 2 passes thus far for 16 yards. He goes in motion on first down. Leroy Butler on a safety blitz, and Jerry Rice incomplete. He had it but could not hold on. Covered by Doug Evans, and Rice claiming that he had possession long enough.
Well, they're going to have a little conference.
It looks like a kind of a reversal conference, doesn't it? From the looks of things.
Oh, yeah. Rice is saying, I got it. But watch this. Watch Young under pressure. They're going to knock him down at the end. And he has the presence to get this thing out and knows who to get it to.
It's incomplete. He did not have possession, ruled the officials.
Now, Evans is going to come up. Yeah, and it doesn't look like he has possession. Now he's holding. Hey, I got to tell you something. That's a completion. The ground cannot cause a fumble. And he had that thing. The Packers come up with another. Looks like all the breaks are going Green Bay's way in this first half.
Normally, the breaks go the ways of the Super Bowl champions and the top contenders. 2nd and 10. Brent Jones in motion from the top. A pump and a catch close to the sticks by Jerry Rice, but short of the first down.
Well, I'll tell you, there's some good coverage, but there's some good pass blocking up front. Kirk Strafford, who was supposed to start at guard and did, is now taking over, locked up on Reggie White at right offensive tackle. Now that's a big man. Reggie went with that hump move, but because Strafford is so big and long, he's able to recover.
Strafford moved from guard to tackle, 3rd and less than a yard for the 49ers. Derek Lavelle is going to lose some. A big play on 3rd and short by the Packers. And it was Sean Jones who came out for a play and came back in. Lavelle with a 2-yard loss. And that'll bring up 4th down.
And they're going to go for it, because they know they're down by 21. They're out of sync. They're saying, all right, we have the best defense in the National Football League. We got to take a chance right now, because we've got to be able to score here with 3:45 to go in the game.
But the Packers look like they're the defending world champions. Best season they've had since Vince Lombardi's last team, Super Bowl II. And that will produce a timeout called by the 49ers to talk it over. 9th in the NFL is San Francisco on 4th down conversions, and they need 3 yards. Well, our Aflac trivia question, once again, what is the largest comeback win in NFC playoff history? And our Aflac trivia answer, 20 points. The Detroit Lions trailed the 49ers back in 1957, 27-7, and won 31-27. And it was Tobin Rote who led the way for the Lions at quarterback.
Well, and when you have defense like this, you can lead the way again. Watch Sean Jones, Darius Holland inside. They get penetration up the field. And when you get penetration like that, you're not going anywhere. Nice, big, physical defense at the point. Holland just overpowers Bart Oaks. I mean, that's a big man, and that's a big play. And then Sean Jones, same thing. When you can control the line of scrimmage, and remember, this 49er offensive line is more of a finesse deal. The way to play them is to attack them and be aggressive. That time they got it done, they'll have their chance now on 4th down.
That was the last time the Niners didn't make 3rd and short, but now it's 4th and 3. Rice goes in motion in the slot, and the pass is underneath to Derek Lavelle, and the 49ers convert on 4th down and keep it going. And they have a first down at the 36. Wayne Simmons defending.
Boy, that's a nice, smart play by the 49ers. You know, you keep Lavelle in there, and you let him have to pick up the blitz, and then after it develops, you just let him slip out, and boom, the ball comes out real quick. And they're going to bring Butler off the corner. Lavelle's inside. See how he gets a chip inside? Now just release him. Roll out! Roll out!
First down on the 36 as Lavelle got the necessary yardage. Young to the air, trying to find a rhythm. And Jerry Rice has it inside the 5. Doug Evans with the stop, and the 49ers showing a rhythm on offense for the first time today.
Well, we said it earlier. When you're down by 21, you have to make plays happen. Rice had only had 1 catch. You got to get him the football. This time he turns Evans around, and George Teague can't get over there fast enough. And the reason he has to throw it down the field, because they are beating the snot out of Brent Jones. And every time he's trying to get down the field, those linebackers are taking care of the underneath coverage.
Steve Young said he's been mugged all season. First and goal. The pass incomplete. Intended for Jerry Rice.
Yeah, Simmons got his hands on it. You know, and again, locked up in coverage on Brent Jones. And right now, Jones is looking back to the official and complaining, saying, hey, they're holding me. They're hanging all over me. Remember the rules. See, the rules say you can beat those receivers up in a 5-yard area. And as long as he's coming off the ball, you got to take your shot on him. That's one of the keys to this 49er offense. Break their rhythm, break their timing by getting hits on the receivers.
Nate Singleton and J.J. Stokes come in at wide receiver.
Yeah, Rice is lined up in the backfield.
You got to get the ball in some way. 10th play of the drive coming up. 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line. And the pass is caught incomplete. It was intended for Taylor, who had a shot at it. And Reggie White put terrific pressure on Steve Young.
Reggie White made a great play, and I'm going to show you why. Here's Jerry Rice. They are going to counter Green Bay by running the same thing, a pick. Watch how Rice comes out. They're going to pick everybody inside. But because White gets the pressure right here, he can't get the ball there. Who's wide open? And then he has to come back the other way and throws this ball. Watch Stokes. He's going in. He's looking just to bump people. And he gets cranked.
They're all getting cranked. Steve Young, they grab a shirt. The Packers are slamming the 49ers every which way. Fred Strickland. And good pressure that time by Sean Jones. And we're down to the 2-minute warning. A beleaguered Steve Young. Well, despite the report we were given, the tackle Harris Barton, who was supposed to be lost with an ankle injury, is back. Don't know whether he's going to play, but he's back out there with his helmet on. And we'll see whether Barton does come into the game. Let's see the play near the goal line and the hitting that went on. And hear it.
Remember that commercial when Steve Young turns and says, "Nasty game"? Well, that's the perfect example right there.
21-yard field goal attempt by Jeff Wilkins. And the kick is good and just barely, as it very nearly hit the upright. So Wilkins now has kicked 7 field goals in a row. But it's a troubled sideline for the 49ers. The defending champions, with their first points of the game, now trail 49ers trailing 21-3. Our trivia question, 20-point comeback is the largest in NFC playoff history. Remember, the Niners were down by 21, so if they would come back, it would be the biggest comeback in history.
They're going to do that. They're going to have to figure out a way to slow down this Packer offense because they've been perfect so far in this first half.
Antonio Freeman down the sideline, and he's pushed out of bounds by Darryl Hall. Freeman got a tremendous future with the Packers.
He really does.
The MVP of the NFL, Brett Favre, has thrown only 1 incompleted pass, over 200 yards, and his 2 touchdown passes have been to his tight ends, Keith Jackson and Mark Shimura.
Well, and we go back to that same thing. You know, as Favre goes, so goes the Packers. And with the 200-yard first half, unbelievable. I mean, that's the kind of effort they needed, and that's what they're getting.
Packers have 1 timeout remaining. First down at the 34. Favre with a screen to Dorsey Levens. Adam Timmerman, the rookie from South Dakota State, was out front blocking. And a gain of 12 yards with Tim McDonald on the stop.
Hey, what a job this kid's doing as they go with their hurry-up offense. But Adam Timmerman, now you're going to slip the block, now get back outside. This kid is not awed by any of this. You know, I mentioned earlier about Bruce Smith's name, which was very prominent in both locker rooms before the game. You know, one of the, Kenny Rutgers, the offensive lineman, said, hey, they don't make players like they used to. And Adam Timmerman swelled up his chest and said, hey, yes, they do. I mean, he's an old-time kind of player, and that's how he's playing.
First down for the Packers on their 46, and the pass out to Mark Shimura. And it's Williams and Pope. And it is a 2-yard pickup. Coming up on the Dockers halftime, JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will bring you first half analysis. And Buffalo versus Pittsburgh highlights. Also, Pam Oliver sits down with Don Shula. That's all coming up on the Dockers halftime.
You know, Don Shula is retiring, and people have been dogging him down there, say he doesn't have control and all that stuff. Don Shula did not forget. He did not all of a sudden become stupid. The guy is the same coach as he was 30 years ago. The game has changed. He changed with it. I think he's one of the all-time greats. I mean, that goes without saying.
Amen. Second down and 8. Edgar Bennett. Bennett dives forward. About 4 yards shy of the first down. Norton making the tackle. And Harry Galbraith, the former 49er, the right guard, blocking in front of him. Packers have played virtually a flawless game so far, other than the missed field goal attempt. Mike Holmgren said no turnovers.
Yeah, remember he talked to Ron Pitts right before the game. He says we cannot have any turnovers. And then he told us the other day, which I thought was very, very interesting, as you see, no penalties on top. I said, what are the things you had to do? He mentioned the turnovers and the penalties and all those things. And he says, and the other thing we have to do, and he was really excited about, he says, we have to get some hits on Steve.
Like he didn't really
he didn't want to say it. I mean, there's still a tie there. Remember, he had Steve Young at BYU. Then he coached him here in San Francisco. And, of course, I said to him, no, you have to have more than a few. You got to bury him. And he said, well, yeah, we do.
You know, these teams have not played each other in 5 years, but there have been perhaps a little bad blood between the front offices and the coaching situation. The 49ers demanded and got a second-round draft pick for Holmgren to go to Green Bay. He took a couple of the Niners assistants. Sherm Lewis is with him now. 3rd down and 4 with 3 wide receivers.
Oh, great play.
And that was Brooks, but making the play was Merton Hanks.
Boy, that's
all over
big.
the place.
Yeah, and that's why Merton Hanks is the best safety in the league. Because you're a safety, and they can match you up because of your corner abilities. And you're going against Robert Brooks. I mean, and he's tough. Brooks is coming into his own. He gets a jet. Watch him close. You see that close and those long arms? And that's why Merton Hanks is so valuable. Because he can do what most safeties can't, play corner.
4th down, and Craig Hentrick will kick for the Packers. Dexter Carter is back deep. Hendrick with a fine kick. Carter slips and downed at the 10-yard line by Bernardo Harris. So the turf did him in on that instance.
Watch the turf. I mean, you know, we talked about this before. He's going to go with the move, and this looks like one of those curly moves right here. Put the thing down. Just come around the other side. But Bernardo Harris is right on top of it. It's good. That's good coverage.
You know, the Packers did a great job the last series to hold the 49ers to just 3 points. This is a very pivotal possession with 1:15 to go for the Niners.
Yeah, and it's going to show the maturity and where the Niners are right now.
1st down on the 10-yard line. Slipping is Young, Jerry Rice. And the pass is broken up by Lenny McGill, the nickel back.
Well, did you see Sean Jones put the move on Steve Wallace? He worked him up the field and then quick back inside. Watch right here. Going to work up the field. Now you come back inside. Move outside, come inside. Put the pressure on Steve Young and get the hit. And then they had the matchup they wanted on Lenny McGill. Just send Rice down the field. But McGill, that's a big play.
2nd down and 10. McGill wearing number 22, the number worn by Elijah Pitts, father of Ron Pitts. He's down on the sideline. Young fakes one way, and the pass thrown behind John Taylor.
Lenny McGill again. That is outstanding coverage.
And they got a shot on Young that time. Matt LaBounty.
Well, you know, we've talked about that. What did you have to do? We have to hit Young. They've been accomplishing that. They haven't had the turnovers. This time LaBounty comes clean, and he gives Young a shot. And whenever you start hitting a quarterback, that has an effect. You know, Madden used to have a rule when we with the Raiders. He said if your quarterback ever comes out of the 1st quarter with a clean jersey, you're not doing your job.
Matt LaBounty, who was on the practice squad of the 49ers several years ago. 3rd down and 10. From the shadow of his goal line. Steve Young will run it out. He's got a 1st down and running room for Young. A big game by Steve Young. 41 yards.
Did you see Brent Jones? Hey, paybacks are tough. You're going to beat me up. When I get a chance, I'm going to light you up. Great coverage down the field. Young sees it, knows he has to make a play, takes off and runs, and then the transition game. All of a sudden, Brent Jones goes from receiver to blocker. Once you see him, now you have to make a block. You have to free him up. There's the missed tackle by Butler, and then Jones, as you saw, just leveled him. Watch Brent Jones. I mean, that is called payback time. You get me, I get you. And that's the way the game is played in the National Football League.
And that is the longest run from scrimmage by the 49ers this year, 41 yards.
And this is one thing that you can't account for. But what you can't account for is the coverage. Now watch, they're going to have the 3 receivers. They're going to try to bring everybody down. It's not going to work. Nice job of locating the zones. Now look at this. Cover here, 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 and here. No place to throw the football, but what happens because they're locked up is it opens the middle. And then watch the transition right there. Boink. Big run by Steve Young.
49ers used their last timeout after that play. 47 seconds remaining in the first half. First down on the 49 of Green Bay. Sean Jones trying to put pressure, and the ball is ruled an incompleted pass.
Reggie White.
Steve Young was in the act of throwing, and he is shaken up.
Reggie White and Sean Jones have turned it up. I mean, they have really taken their game. Here's Reggie White playing completely beat up. Watch him up top, working on Scrafford. Sean Jones down below, just throwing people around. Because Jones got the pressure from the front side, Reggie White was able to come back after the quarterback stepped up, and there's the shot. And you can see the arm was starting to come forward right there.
Last 5 passes attempted by Young have fallen incomplete. Brings up second down and 10. Young swings it out, and it's dropped by Derek Lavelle. That will bring up 3rd and 10.
They said they had to knock down Steve Young, and they have accomplished that today. Now, even though they haven't gotten the sacks, they have been able to get the hits. You can see he's hurried, knocked down 7 times. They've come after him 8 times, and now it's been with different combinations of coverage behind him, and that's the key. When Young can get blitzed and settle in on man coverage, he'll beat you. But because Fritz Shermer is missing and mixing up his coverages, he's been able to confuse him.
Yeah, I got you.
3rd down and 10. Young completes the pass to Derek Lavelle, and good tackling that time by Simmons and Butler prevent Lavelle from getting the first down yardage. Remember, they have no timeouts left. Under 20 seconds to go, and they hurry up. It'll be 4th down and a couple. And the give is to Lavelle.
Oh, that's a big call.
And a first down. Wayne Simmons makes the stop.
They're going to run out of time. 3, 2, 1. I didn't get it.
And that'll do it. The only time this year the 49ers have been held without a touchdown in the first half was against Carolina, and they lost that game here. That is the end of the first half with the score. The Packers 21 and the 49ers 3. Stay tuned for the Dockers halftime as this Fox Divisional playoff continues.
The NFC Divisional Playoff.
The Green Bay Packers shocking the San Francisco 49ers, the defending champions, 21-3 at halftime. And Matt, it seems once the dust clears, the Packers are just beating up the 49ers all over the field.
Yeah, and they're doing it the right way, like they wanted to. What they said they had to do was set the tone defensively. Fritz Shermer, we said, was going to be a big part of it, and they've set the tone from the beginning of the game, and they've not stopped. They've got to carry it all the way through the second half.
This is how they set the tone, and listen to it.
You see what they've had to do. They knew they had to be physical, and they knew they had to get jams on the receivers, and they had to have their coverage. And stuff like this to Brent Jones, beating him up underneath, not letting him develop the patterns, and then being able to cover Jerry Rice and make a play. You see what that is right there? That's competitiveness. And because of that, Steve Young has been getting his nose bloody. Reggie White this time, then later on, they've been getting hits on him all game long. Watch Sean Jones as he works back underneath. They've been just hitting Young all game long. They've gotten him out of sync, and that's been the difference in this game.
And that fumble recovery for a touchdown happened to occur on the 49ers' first play of the game. So inauspicious start for the Niners, and it hasn't gone uphill since for them.
But they're the defending Super Bowl champs for a reason.
They'll get the ball to start the second half. Craig Hentrick kicking off. And Dexter Cardo will see the ball bound in the end zone for a touchback. Right now, let's go down to Ron Pitts.
All right, Dick, just talked to George Seifert coming out of the locker room. He said the thing we got to do is run our offense. We're not being disciplined and running the X's and O's like we can do it. Talked to a couple players. A little bit of yelling and screaming going on inside. The whole key word was pride. We have been here before. We are Super Bowl champions. Let's pick it up a step and get the job done. That is the thing.
All right, Ron, thank you very much. Harris Barton still on the sideline with the ankle injury. Came back out of the locker room. Steve Young brings out his team. First down from the 20. Rice with 4 catches in the first half. Flips it out to Derek LaVille, who slips. Looks like the Niners are slipping as much as the Packers. No gain.
Yeah, more, and particularly LaVelle has had problems. And I don't know what size cleats he's had or what he's used to on this field, but they're going to have to recheck. You have to make adjustments. There's one thing about game plans and what they're doing, but then personally, you have to know how you're doing. The other thing you can't game plan is what Reggie White can do to you with the hump. See how he works up top, then he just takes Scrappard, gets the momentum going, gives him the old Howie Long hump.
2nd and 10. This time John Taylor underneath. It'll be 3rd down and about 3 for the 49ers. Let's take a look at the halftime statistics, and the Packers have been able to do it despite only 28 rushing yards.
Between down here, see, they've been able to control that, and they have been able to have Brett Favre hot as can be. And when Favre is like that, that's the difference in the game. They don't have to worry about the running game. They just use it to set up their passing game.
Stokes replaces Taylor on 3rd and 3. And again, the 49ers run the same play that they used to get a first down and short earlier. And Steve Young runs up the back of his center, Bart Oates, for the first down in a gain of 6.
Hey, Bart Oates is going to have a sore rear end from getting pinched in the old goose play. Hey, you walk up and you're going to split. Look, you're going to split this and you're going to give me nothing back here. You just go up there and you see how those hands were working. Just run right up inside. See, now, nobody knows that. The only 2 who know that are Bart Oates and Steve Young.
Like a bootleg sometimes. First down for Steve Young. He has enough time. And the pass coming back to make the catch. And a terrific shoestring play by Jerry Rice. Short of the first down by about 2 or 3.
I'm going to tell you, watching this, these corners and the secondary of the Packers have been playing extremely well today. I mean, they are breaking on the ball. They're being very aggressive. Watch this catch. Down low. But now, more important, defensively, you make the tackle, which sets up the 2nd down. I'll tell you, Newsome has some poise. For a rookie, I mean, he has learned how to compete.
Steve Wallace is shaken up, and Harris Barton has come onto the field as we take an injury timeout. Francisco, 49ers with 3 wide receivers, 2nd down and 3 on their 40. Brent Jones in motion, wide to the left, and the pass to Jones. He's got it. Flag is down, and another one comes flying as Leroy Butler makes the tackle. First down in Packer territory.
Well, I'll tell you, there is no mercy in this league. You're Harris Barton, you go out, you have the bad ankle. They come back in, the first thing they do is they blitz him. They're going to make him move that foot.
Bob McElwee.
Holding, number 33, defense. That penalty is declined. First down.
Yeah, you can see right there. See that hand right there? He's going to work him and just gets a grasp, and just doesn't quite let him go. And he's got him all the way. That's a good play. And then on the top side, it's just Brent Jones working the coverage on Leroy Butler.
Steve Wallace has a strained groin, questionable as to whether he'll be back. First and 10 at the 46, and Steve Young, and a big loss that time as Wayne Simmons came blitzing from his outside linebacking position, and a huge loss of 13.
Watch what Fritz Shermer's doing right now. See, he's attacking Harris Barton. Watch Barton. They're going to make him. They're going to put pressure on him, move the numbers on him. You have to make him move his feet and make a decision. That time, they didn't account for Simmons inside. Barton slides outside. He's got to get help from the inside. And because it doesn't show up, it's a numbers game. Simmons, actually, that is a fumble. That ball came out before he was down. Simmons slapped this thing out. It comes out right there. See that? That should have been a fumble.
Second sack of the game for Green Bay. 2nd down and 23. And the pass to Derek LaVelle out of the backfield, and they get the first down, it appears, awfully close to it at the 35. So Steve Young didn't waste much time to try to get it all back.
Hey, this is why they're the defending champions. They're just going to run them right down the seam. you're going to give him this look, and you're going to match up here and here, and have a safety over the top. That means you open this lane. And when that happens, look, Young's just holding this inside defender with that look. And that allows Lavelle to run right through that seam and pick up a monster yardage, possibly a first down. They're measuring right now.
It is a first down. Want to again remind you that the only time this year that the 49ers were held without a touchdown in the first half was against the Carolina Panthers on November 5th in a game that they lost to the expansion team 13-7. Both the Packers and the Niners were 5-4 at one juncture this year, and both played strong the rest of the way.
That was a huge first down.
At the 35 of Green Bay. Young throws it away.
I got to tell you something right now. 49ers are going to have to do something because Harris Barton is playing on guts, but his guts don't reach his foot. You see that ankle is killing him. And he's out there, and he's going to give you everything he's got. They've got to help him with the back or a tight end because they're putting him in a really tough position.
This offensive line has been in a state of flux virtually from the start of this year. Second and 10. Young's pass underneath Jerry Rice to the 15, and it's another 49ers first down. Craig Newsome, the rookie, covering again.
Yeah, now he's down, getting up a little bit slow. Can you feel the momentum just a little bit starting to change?
And you look at the time remaining in the third quarter, you know the Niners have a world of time. Rookie Craig Newsome, who's had an outstanding game, shaken up and on the sideline.
You watch him right at the end. Mike Pryor is going to come back, and he catches a knee right in that neck, that head, and bends that thing all the way back.
Lenny McGill replaces Newsome. Steve Wallace back in. He suffered a sprained groin. 10th play of the drive. There's McGill. First down from the 25. One pump fake going underneath to Brent Jones. And Jones with another first down. So the 49ers are on a roll now, but once again, Steve Young takes a shot.
It's the same toughness we saw in Indianapolis when Steve Young was getting thrown around that day. That's going to bring Strickland up inside. Nobody touches him. It's from the blind side. Almost the same thing when Ray Buchanan hit him way back in Indianapolis.
17-yard gain. Newsome back into cornerback for the Packers. Young took a big shot the last time. First and goal from the 9-yard line. Young passes to Jones, and Leroy Butler buries him right there. It'll be second and goal.
Boy, Harris Barton and Reggie White are really engaged. Now, Harris Barton is calling on everything he knows what to do. This time he's going to try to cut him. Remember, that's a bad hamstring and bad knee. Reggie White jumps right over. I'm kind of surprised that the 49ers have kept Harris Barton in. Because you have Steve Wallace back. Now you got to put Stratford back out at tackle because Harris is playing completely on guts. That ankle is tough.
12th play of the drive. Young 8 for 9. And here's J.J. Stokes. And he is stopped short of the goal line. The rookie from UCLA, who will be the heir apparent to John Taylor immediately as Taylor retires.
If you want to know something, J.J. Stokes doesn't know how strong he is yet. And if he would know and understand that, he would have scored. Because as he's coming across on this route, he hesitates just a little bit. Had he put that thing in full throttle, he would have been able to use his strength and bull over for the score.
Third and goal. Ron Milstead is the blocking fullback. Derek Lavelle doesn't make it. And the Packers stop Lavelle on third down and 1, and that'll bring up fourth down. Fred Strickland might have been the first defender in.
But they're going to go for it.
They have to.
And a nice job by that Packer defense. Look, Milstead's in the backfield for a reason. They're going to run the football. They're going to use him as a blocker. That's why he's there. So all you do is you just go back and you watch him. Wherever he goes, you go.
And here's the chess game. Fritz Shermer, Mark Trestman on the other side. And the 49ers will use a timeout right here. And a good time for the timeout because the Niners need a touchdown.
They called the timeout, and they asked Steve Young to come to the sideline, and he was not happy at all. In fact, I'd say he's a little bit on the upset side. He's screaming at him because at the time when they called that timeout, the Packers were right in the middle of not knowing what to do. And they were in a little bit of disarray.
Mark Trestman on the right, the offensive coordinator. Maybe furious fits it more.
Well, let's see if they don't use Steve Young's legs here to their advantage.
And Young gets in for the touchdown. Where would the Niners be without Steve Young's legs today? Their longest run from scrimmage, 41 yards, and 3 times he has carried, twice for first downs, and this time for a touchdown, and the first TD of the game.
But look at the way he's carrying himself. He's hurt. I mean, those hits are taking a toll. Just the way he's carrying his upper body, he's not as free as flowing his movement with that left arm. I could see he's hurt.
Jeff Wilkins in for the point after. He's still not happy. And the kick is good to make the score. Packers 21, the Niners 10. Steve Young on a quarterback sneak and the first touchdown of the day for the defending champs. Steve Young not happy with the communication, not hearing the plays, changing his helmet. Going over to Bronco,
that's Bronco Hennick, the equipment manager, and he went over there and said, hey, something's wrong. And what was wrong was either the communication or he's putting more air in the top of that helmet to tighten that thing up because he's been getting that face mask rattled all game long.
49ers who have won the first playoff game each of the 5 years that they have reached postseason under George Seifert, trail now 21-10. Wilkins kicking and Freeman returning from the 1-yard line. Antonio Freeman gets to about the 27-yard line, and that's where the Packers will start this possession. Well, they're coming. Football's best team. They're coming by bus.
If they want a race, I'll give them a race.
They're coming by blimp. And by any means necessary. It's the Little Caesars 12th Annual All-Mat Team, Sunday, January 21st at 5 p.m. Eastern and Pacific, 4 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for the time in your area. First down, Packers on their 26, leading by 11. And the pass is caught on first down by Robert Brooks. He's been quiet for a while. Gain of 12.
You see the confidence in Brett Favre? I got to tell you something. Brett Favre is unconscious right now. You see that first half, they come out in the second half. The 49ers just went right down the field. They scored. There's all the pressure. You feel the crowd starting to get back in. You know what Favre says? Oh, I care. Here, take this. Boom, ball comes right out.
16 of 18. Tremendous numbers for Brett Favre. Over 200 yards and 2 scores. First down. And the short pass underneath to Brooks. And Robert Brooks does what Jerry Rice normally does, gets big yardage after the catch, gets 19 before Tim McDonald catches up with him.
You know what this is? This is that same Derek Lavelle play. And we talked about mirror images of each other.
Right.
That's all they're doing, the same thing, just with different personnel. You're going to come with a blitz, we're going to counter it the same way you did it to us. Another big first down, 2 throws to Brooks, 2 big first downs. The Packers are on the move.
On the Niners' 44-yard line. 21-10, Green Bay. Edgar Bennett, he slips and loses yardage. Eric Davis puts the seal on, and right now for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
Big Bam Morris had 106 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns in helping Pittsburgh to a 19-point victory over Buffalo, advancing to the AFC title game for the 9th time in franchise history. Let's take it back to Dick and Matt.
I'll say it right now, Bill Cowher is not going to allow what happened last year in Pittsburgh to the Steelers this year. They are more focused than I've seen them.
Second down and 11. Pressure put on.
Oh,
Bennett dropped the pass. He heard or saw Tim McDonald coming.
He felt him. Tim McDonald drew a bead. They went with man. They came with a blitz off the corner. Favre read it perfect, but McDonald saw the same thing. And he broke on that ball before it was ever thrown. Ball comes outside. See McDonald? I think Edgar Bennett either smelled him or he felt him, because he sure didn't see him. He was looking back.
We talked about chess games in the past. This is a true chess match here.
A huge play right here.
Third down and 11. And we may have a false start on the right side of the Green Bay line. And apparently might have been Dotson.
Prior to the snap, false start, 72 offense. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Watch your old Dotson. I think that's the first penalty of the day. And it's going to be the false start. Now they're going to go in motion, and he's just getting a little bit anxious.
Third down and long. Mike Holmgren coming back to San Francisco, where he was born and raised. First penalty for the Packers presents a 3rd and 16. 4 wide receivers for Brett Favre. And Favre, short of the first down. Anthony Morgan makes the catch. They're about 5 yards shy. Marquez Pope on the tackle.
Yeah, nice coverage by Pope. Hey, see, they come up with a big play, and you win that third down. Marquez Pope with a nice tight coverage. Let him make the catch, make the tackle.
McDonald played a key role in that series, and now Craig Hentrick will kick it away, and Dexter Carter back deep. Carter is going to let it bounce, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback.
Hey, that's a nice play by Dexter Carter.
4:51 remaining in the third. Niners have some momentum going.
Watch Dexter Carter right here. He just saves the 49ers 15 yards of field position because he did not raise his hand for a fair catch. He's allowed to go make a block. And then as Crawford is coming in, he just goes and levels them, and that allows the ball to go into the end zone. They pick up at least 15 yards.
A heady play.
That's a nice play.
So the Niners start from the 20. Pass up the middle to Derek Lavelle, and a short gain. And this game summary is brought to you by Budweiser. Packers, as expected, chewing up a lot of yardage, as are the 49ers. Steve Young has scored the only touchdown for the 49ers, and a brilliant game thus far by Brett Favre. 18 of 21, 262, and 2 touchdown passes, both to his tight ends, Keith Jackson and Mark Shimura. 2nd and 6 from the 24. And a whistle, and that indicates something
Prior to the snap,
against the Niners.
false start, number 74, offense.
Steve Wallace, the left tackle.
You know, you're seeing all these things that are going on with Fritz Shermer's defense. This is a thinking man's coach. In fact, I like his approach. He wrote 3 books on it. You know, I read this first one, Coaching Team Defense. It's very, very good. All you Little League coaches, high school coaches, and any fans who are really interested, I'll tell you what, I would recommend you read those things because it really gives you a good idea of what goes on in the National Football League.
Maybe what he's doing today is in one of those books.
That's the John Grisham of the National Football League.
2nd down and 11. That was intended for Stokes. And it'll be 3rd and long.
Hey, I'll tell you, this is what you've got to do to Jerry Rice. You got to be physical, and you have to make. Look, that's perfect. You can't draw it up any better. You have to take Rice out of their offense, and then watch Fritz Shermer. He sees what's going on, and he knows it's good, but he also knows there's a lot of time left, and he's been in this position before and been beaten.
6 catches for 74 yards for Jerry Rice, his longest 32. 3rd down and 11. Pressure put on Reggie White put pressure on, and Adam Walker, the intended receiver, and they got another shot on Steve Young, and he's been battered and bruised today.
Yeah, Reggie came from the outside, and I want you to watch Sean Jones. Up and then back inside. They're running the old palm stunt, and then here comes Reggie White, just beat Scrafford clean. It's the old meet me at the quarterback play. And anytime you get, that's about 550 pounds, and they can do that because nobody is getting open. Tell you what, this Newsome is playing his rear end off, as is Lenny McGill.
Well, we talked about 49er momentum. Blunted right now as Tommy Thompson kicks from inside his 10. Antonio Freeman on his 41 will go down right there and accept it. And good field position for the Packers. Well, tomorrow's big game. It'll be the third and rubber game of the year between the Eagles and the Cowboys in the other divisional playoff at Texas Stadium.
And how well are the Cowboys? How healthy is Troy Aikman? How healthy is Emmitt Smith? Can Derek Kennard do the job at center? All those questions have to be answered, because if the Dallas Cowboys are going to win, I think they have to run the football effectively.
Maybe they need a spiritual leader like Reggie White, how courageous he has been at times this year. 42-yard line, first down for the Packers. Barr falls down.
Oh, my!
Finds a wide open Keith Jackson. Brett Barr fell down, and he had a Niner storming in on him, and he completes a pass to Keith Jackson for 28 yards into Niner territory.
Watch Brett Favre. I mean, you can't even use words. This stuff happens only when you're in a zone. You're down, you're up, you see the whole field, and that ball is thrown the only place you can. Okay, when stuff like that happens, you start to think it's their day.
4 catches for 101 yards. Keith Jackson's best game since coming to the Packers. First down, and here's Edgar Bennett with William Henderson. Henderson can crank out a few, and he picks up about 4.
Oh, William Henderson, I'll tell you what, this guy, that's the kind of fullback you need. You don't see these guys in the National Football League anymore. The one guy who was William Floyd, and this guy plays just like him. Watch him come up. He's just going to take on Merton Hanks. I mean, he just plants him. This kid, I like his style, and I like his confidence. He's just looking for anybody to hit. Get out of the way. Here comes Edgar.
You got to like this game, the way the Packers are playing physical style.
Absolutely. That's the way you've got to play the game against the 49ers. You have to be physical.
2nd and 6. Barr being chased by Stubblefield, and has the first down. He got to the sticks before he ran out of bounds. An alert maneuver by Brett Favre. And with 2:08 to go in the third, the Packers in front, and they will move the sticks. They're inside the 20.
Remember yesterday Mike Holmgren was saying, you know, this emotional thing for him, and he said, you know, not only me, but my wife. You know, my wife, she said, too emotional to come out here. So she didn't show up, as did his 4 daughters not show up. And he said, wait till she finds out that I bought 65 tickets. He said, don't tell her, so don't mention a word.
Won't say a word.
All right, Kathy, I know you're listening. You got a big bill coming.
First down on the 18. Mark Shimura to the 15-yard line, a gain of about 4. Meanwhile, Packer fans did make their way out to the Bay Area. 3 757 charter planes brought the fans from the Pacific Northwest, and I guess it's going to be tougher to jump into the crowd here.
Yeah, they dare him to jump there. And I spoke to Robert Brooks about that before the game, and he said, yeah, yesterday I came out and I surveyed the field. And he said, if I see a Green Bay Packers sweatshirt, I'm going to try to jump to him.
2nd and 6. 2 tight ends. Robert Brooks goes in motion. And the pass is thrown not quite away. It was landed in the end zone, intended for Mark Ingram.
Yeah, but Marquez Pope did a very good job right there.
On the season, the 49ers have allowed 209 passing yards a game, already exceeded by the Packers today.
Well, remember at the start of the game, we started this whole thing, and you asked me about what the feel was for the team, and I said they were concerned, and they were concerned about the passing yardage that they had given up the last 3 weeks.
Green Bay is going to use its first time out of the second half. And I also asked you about how the Packers were well prepared for this game compared to their 2 losses against Dallas in the previous 2 years in the second round.
Yeah, and all that preparation goes back to Mike Holmgren, and then a confidence. And when you talk about the preparation from Holmgren and the leadership and the way Brett Favre, where they said he had to play well, and he's responded, and then that allows that whole game plan to develop.
Script looks good so far on the other side. 54 seconds remaining in the third quarter. One time the Packers had a 21-0 lead. Niners got a field goal before halftime and have scored the only touchdown for them on a Steve Young quarterback sneak. Favre continues to have a sensational game. And usually when Favre is on, the Packers win. When he's not, as was the case in the losses at Tampa Bay and St. Louis in the first game of the year, the Packers come up short.
I'll tell you who else has been on. Is the inside 3, actually that offensive line. And Adam Timmerman, the rookie making his first start, is held up very, very well. You haven't seen any pressure coming from there. He's a bulldog. He gets in there and he just wants to fight, and he's held up.
He sure has in a clutch situation. 3rd and 6. 3 wide receivers to the left. Freeman to the right. Pass caught underneath by Ingram, and he's not going to make the first down.
That's Ingram's fault, and that's good defense by the 49ers.
Dedrick Dodge and Ingram going at it now.
And that's a good job at the end by Edgar Bennett. I mean, that's stupid. You don't get to fight down here. Edgar Bennett went in there and grabbed Ingram and just ripped them out. Ingram has to know where the sticks are. You have to sit down so your quarterback, when he makes the throw, if it's tight coverage, you get the first down. Ingram didn't have the presence to do that. Hey, give him the old high crotch move.
Up and under.
Yeah. And I think that's just a little frustration by Ingram knowing that he didn't have the mark.
Packers will try to put 3 on the scoreboard. First field goal attempt by Jackie was blocked. This one from 27 yards out is good. And with 17 seconds remaining in the third quarter, the upstart Packers, who are looking to stun the defending world champions, lead now by a score of 24.
He's working on it. I watched him practice. He's running around. I asked him before the game. He said, look, if they just said, all you have to do is just let me block, I'll play in a second.
Craig Hendrick with the short kickoff, and Dexter Carter at the 10. Slid momentarily and buried.
Oh, Marcus Wilson, what a shot that was.
This team has not stopped hitting from the get-go today. The Packers started out and they were getting to Young and they were getting to the receivers and making big special teams hits as well.
That's Marcus Wilson. Now the thing, you have to use your speed. You see, he just goes by Dedrick Dodge, and then right as Dexter Carter is trying to make his cut, you get aggressive and you run right through it. In that field, I'll tell you, the field, which I thought was great, is starting to show some wear now.
8 seconds to go in the third quarter. And a whistle and some more shoving going on between
Prior to
Darius.
the snap, false start, number 69, offense.
That's Rod
5-yard
Milstead.
penalty, first down.
So 5 yards marked off.
And the reason Milstead is in at guard now is because the 49ers recognized that Harris Barton was struggling. So they put Milstead at guard, and then he moves Kirk Scrappert back out to tackle, and they took Barton and put him on the sideline.
On the phone is Brett Favre. 1st and 15. Steve Young's pass caught by Brent Jones and ripped down by Wayne Simmons, and that will end the third quarter. With a score, the Packers 24 and the Niners 10. This Fox Divisional playoff will continue after these messages from your local Fox station. Back at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, the Packers lead the Niners 24-10. Harris Barton on the sidelines as Scrappert moves to tackle and Milstead to guard as Pat mentioned 2nd down and 10 for Steve Young as we start the 4th quarter. Young again throws across, and it's knocked away from Brent Jones by Wayne Simmons.
Wayne Simmons is having a tremendous day. I mean, there is coverage all over the field, and Simmons is part of that coverage. Now watch on Jerry Rice again. Doug Evans working on him. Get the jam, run with him. And then you have to recover. And then Stokes on the other side, another option. This time Craig Newsom working on him. Again, being competitive. And then Jones back underneath. Every time that they've looked for a guy, there's been either a man sitting in the zone or they've been matched up in man.
Niners had a bye week. Packers a short week, but you never know it. By the way, Green Bay has played. 3rd down and 10. And off the hands of Stokes, a pass he should have caught. And now the 49ers have some serious problems. Even though it's early in this 4th quarter, they're not making the play.
Well, I'll tell you what's happened right now. This is another wrinkle by Fritz Shermer. Remember last week when they went with 3 down linemen and 3 backers, and then they were always blitzing Freddie Strickland? This time, the last 2 plays rather, they went with 3 down linemen, 3 backers, and they just kept 8 guys deep. There's no place to throw that football. They're manning up and they're zoning underneath.
And they can afford to do it with a 14-point lead. Tommy Thompson kicking on 4th down, a booming kick. Antonio Freeman on the 24-yard line. Great pursuit and coverage. That was almost 5 seconds of hang time as Gary Plummer made the tackle.
This Fox NFC Divisional Playoff Special is brought to you by Chevrolet, the cars and trucks 36 million people depend on every day. Genuine Chevrolet. By IBM, solutions for a small planet. By Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most. And by American Express.
And I want you to watch some chess that's going on. You got 3 guys rushing. That means you got 8 people back here. Because you have the extra defenders, you can go man on their 2 receivers, and then you just zone the rest of the field. You've got no place to throw this ball. And because you've been getting the hits on Steve Young, he starts to feel it, and then the ball comes out quick, and then you have everything defensed. I think Fritz Shermer, to date, has been absolutely outstanding.
There, the quarterback comparison. Young has thrown 15 more passes than Favre. But Favre has been the star and the MVP of the season, and you have to say of this game as well. Dedrick Dodge was called for a personal foul, grabbing a face mask, so the Packers have great field position starting from their 43 and their best starting field position of the game. Let's see if the right side of the Packer line moved as the Niners contend. Not been many penalties against Mike Holmgren's club today.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 72 offense.
Again, Earl
5-yard
Dotson.
penalty, 1st down.
Second time he's been called.
Yeah, but I think they got to be pleased with Earl Dotson. He came in this year and he was really an unknown playing that tackle spot. And as this season has progressed, he's really played well. He was a little disappointed with how he played last week, but I think today he's turning in a pretty solid performance.
Mike Holmgren calls him the gentle giant. 1st down and 15. Favre being rushed by Stubblefield and gets it off anyway. Edgar Bennett escaped. And now they blow the whistle and they claim that he was a sack. He was down, his knee went down. So Stubblefield gets the 1st sack of the game for the 49ers.
Now this is a good call. You know, this in the old days, this would have been in the grass. Let's see, he comes in now. Favre's going to try to give him this hip swivel right here. But right there, see, he goes down because of the throw of Stubblefield. And that's a sack. That's a good call.
2nd down and 20. Stubblefield and Young, 2 great inside tackles. Edgar Bennett off the left side. It'll bring up 3rd down and long for Green Bay. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
Hey, Dick, as you mentioned, the rubber match comes tomorrow when Ricky Waters will be looking to run wild as he leads the upset-minded Eagles into Texas Stadium to face that man, Emmitt Smith, the NFC East champion Dallas Cowboys. It all gets started with the pregame show at 12 noon tomorrow. Back to Dick and Matt.
Rodney Peete can have himself a day, even close to what he had last week. They have themselves a real good shot.
Tim Harris, number 99, lines up at right defensive end for the Niners on 3rd and 15. Favre going deep, and it's nearly intercepted by Eric Davis. Pass was intended for Antonio Freeman, and a fine play by Davis.
Well, this ball is a little bit underthrown, but he had the time, because look at Adam Timmerman working on the All-Pro Dana Stubblefield. I mean, that's just good bulldog stuff. Timmerman refuses to get beat, allows the time, but this ball was really poorly thrown. It was underthrown. Had he been able to put a little more luft under it, I think Antonio Freeman would have had a big play.
You want a lot of luft on this.
Oh, absolutely.
Davis should have intercepted the pass. 4th down, and Craig Hentrick lost the ball. There was no rush, and Dexter Carter is going to let it bounce, and then he picks it up and is dropped at the 27. So we'll take a break. Less than 2 minutes have gone by in this 4th quarter with a 24-10 Packer lead. Fine aerial view today, thanks to the Goodyear Blimp Eagle. Majestic craft in the sky. 1st and 10 at the 28. This is a big possession for the 49ers, who start from the 28, their best since the 1st quarter. Steve Young with time. Pass incomplete. It was intended for Brent Jones and broken up by Doug Evans. Steve Young does not have an impressive record when he's trailed in the 4th quarter in his career. 5 wins and 15 defeats, and 0-3 this year when Young is trailed going into the final quarter.
And you can't really dog the guy. I mean, first of all, you see the 20 opportunities. You hear about Elway, Marino, but you don't know how many opportunities he has. And then this year, he's 0 for 3, but 2 of the times he did the job and got him down there, and then Brian missed the kick.
2nd down and 10. Young underneath to Jerry Rice. And it was first Wayne Simmons. We've been mentioning his name countless times today, and then Evans.
I can't say enough about the game Wayne Simmons is playing. I mean, he's a fast guy. He's probably their most athletic linebacker. And then they keep him in for coverage. And what he's done today is he's gotten good jams, and he's been a key because he's been able to match up with Brent Jones in the underneath coverage, which allows the other guys to be able to double up on Jerry Rice, J.J. Stokes, and John Taylor.
One-time first-round draft pick, Simmons. Rice with 7 catches and 80 yards, but no touchdown. Pass is caught by Rice, and that'll be enough for a 1st down. Doug Evans making the tackle. So they're going underneath to Jerry Rice twice in a row.
Well, I mean, that's just confidence. And you know you're manned up and you have help inside. Jerry Rice just fights that thing off. And then actually, see, Wayne Simmons that time got a little bit too deep. Had he been able to stay in there, that play would have been gone for naught.
In the 49ers' 5 losses this year, Jerry Rice caught a total of only 1 touchdown pass. 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line of San Francisco. Young had time.
Fumble!
And it's into the hands of Darius Holland.
John Yurkovich came off the block of Bardos and forced that fumble. And I got to tell you, it happened because of great coverage down the field. They brought in Dexter Carter, and they tried to get him on an out and up down the sideline, but the coverage was perfect. Now watch Yurkovich. He's going to work on Bardos, just gets a push. Now he feels it. Now watch when he comes back. Gets the hand, slaps that ball out, and then Holland picks it up. He was looking all the way for the out and up with Dexter Carter. And again, another great job of the coverage of the Green Bay Packers.
So a turnover and the 2nd of the game. The Packers capitalized on the first one. In the last 3 years, teams winning the turnover battle have a monumental 30-2 record. And today, the Niners have turned it over twice. Green Bay scored a touchdown the first time. They have the ball on the 49ers 38. Here's Edgar Bennett, and he slipped on his own accord. And a gain of 2. Fans have already started leaving the ballpark. They are convinced at this point, and they're making a mistake if they feel that with 11-12 to go that the Niners are out of this. They're not out of it. Although if the Packers score a touchdown here, it looks awfully dim for the defending.
What they could be looking at is how Brett Favre has played. I mean, like I said earlier, he's been unconscious today.
Second down and 8. Bennett in motion to the left. Pressure put on, and Favre throws it away. Ken Norton was pressuring Favre, but the Packers picked him up nicely. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Francisco 49ers and the National Football League is prohibited. Packers 0 for their last 5 on third down. They need 8 yards. And it's Edgar Bennett. And Bennett stopped short of the first down by a yard.
They're gonna go for this thing, I bet you. They're in a position where their defense has been playing well. You have a chance to bury them. It'll be interesting to see if Mike Holmgren goes for the jugular right here.
The other thing is, with the field being what it is, kickers have been slipping. It's not a sure thing that you're going to get the kickoff in the first place. They're going to measure anyway to see how much they need.
How about that Edgar Bennett? I'll tell you what, that guy has really played well.
Having a career year over 1,000 yards, and last year with 108 yards against Atlanta broke Paul Hornung and Jim Taylor's Packer playoff record.
You want to know something? They're going to go for it. Mike Holmgren is going to put his foot on a throw to the 49ers, and he's going to try to cut off the windpipe right here. I like this move. This is keeping in tune with being aggressive and physical all game long.
2 tight ends, Shimura and Jackson, 4th and 1. Rolling out.
He got it.
He's going to run and make it. First down, Green Bay. And that may not be the dagger, but it's awfully close. 5-yard pickup for Brett Favre.
And a nice job by Earl Dotson. Earl Dotson took the defensive end and made him come straight upfield. Watch Earl Dotson right up here. Watch, he's going to take the defensive end, Brown. He's going to force him up this way. And that opens this, which allows Favre to scramble and get that first down. I'll tell you, the other guy who's really playing great in there is Harry Galbraith, 76. He's working on Bryant Young, and we've not called Young's name all game long.
1st and 10 on the 24. And it gives the Packers a chance to chew up a lot of the clock as Edgar Bennett is stopped for no gain, but we have 9.5 minutes to go, and Green Bay will be in no hurry.
Watch Edgar Bennett running, and you know he's effective inside because he's got those great feet, and he really does have some nice moves. You know, you heard John Madden last week talking about one of the best moves he saw was finagling my fur coat off him. I gotta admit, it looks a lot better on him than it does on me.
You may have gotten the better of the deal. 2nd down and 10. Again, Bennett with Henderson blocking, and Bennett gets close to the first down. There's a flag thrown at about the 15. And that'll stop the clock with just under 9 minutes to go in the 4th. That was a great block by the rookie William Henderson.
Illegal hands to the face, 91 defense. That'll be enforced from the end of the play.
Alfred Williams.
5 additional yards.
And a first down. And the Packers are getting very close to snuffing out the Niners.
Well, you know, we talked about that fur coat, and there it is. See, that's a beaver coat. Edgar Bennett saw me last week, and he said, boy, I sure do like that coat. You can see Brett Favre, he's petting him there. And I walked into the locker room, the first thing Favre said was, hey, we shoot stuff like that up here. But heck, because Edgar Bennett had that move and finagling it off of me, John Madden was so impressed, that may have gotten him that move onto the All-Madden team.
We don't want to reveal anything yet, though. We want to keep the suspense. First and 10 from the 11. Bennett. No gain. Tim McDonald, but the clock continues to run with less than 8.5 minutes remaining.
So you got to be impressed with Edgar Bennett. You can see the physical skills. You can see how he cuts and the moves. You can see him catch. He blocks well. But you know what I really like about this guy? This guy always has a smile on his face. He's got the greatest disposition and personality. Every time you see him, he has a nice, kind word for you. And I got to tell you, I think the Green Bay Packers, I don't see any idiots on that team. They got a bunch of good guys. Edgar Bennett leads the way.
Second down and 10. Split backfield, and Bennett again inside the 10-yard line. Packers, who have won their first division title in 23 years, trying to get to the championship game. And slow getting up is Brian Young. Right, we haven't mentioned his name today. He was hurt for part of the year.
You can see the toughness right there. He doesn't want to come out. Bring Junior Bryant in for him. I'll tell you, the offensive line, particularly the inside three, which was a major concern. You see Frank Winters, Adam Timmerman, and Harry Galbraith, 76, have played very, very well. I mean, they were a major key to take care of those two big tackles. And like I said, we haven't even mentioned Bryant Young's name today.
Third down and 7. Rolling out is Favre. Goes the other way. He wanted to go to Bennett. Norton was covering.
Good coverage by Ken Norton. That's a big third down play from Norton. You know, that's discipline in your coverage. That's what Ken Norton can do for you. I mean, he's a good cover guy.
So on fourth down, Chris Jackie will come on. He was successful his last time out with a 27-yarder, although his first attempt today was blocked.
It's a big kick. See, 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions give you 16, which beats you. With this, it gives you 17, and they need 3 scores.
You did that all by yourself. I like it.
Penn State guy.
26-yard attempt for Chris Jackie, and the kick is good. The Packers use up a lot of time, and they went for it on fourth down, and they get 3 points out of it. Story on the faces of the Niners as they trail the Pack 27-10. Well, there's a guy who's been around winners before, Jim McMahon, the backup.
That is a very good acquisition by the Green Bay Packers. I want to tell you, whenever Favre comes off the sideline, he goes right to McMahon. McMahon talks to him, gives him adjustments, then goes back over to Holmgren, talks to him. This has been very good for Brett Favre. He's calmed them down, and he's also given them another set of ears to listen for and eyes to see with.
49ers will come out to the 20 after the touchback. Well, we'd like to say hello to everyone watching today's game on Armed Forces Television. And a special hello to those men and women supporting Operation Joint Endeavor in Bosnia. You're witnessing a stunning playoff game in which the defending champion 49ers, who lost home field advantage in the final regular season game and losing to Atlanta, are on the verge of getting knocked out as the Packers lead. Brett Favre in the 2 playoff games, 45 of 63, nearly 500 yards. More important, 5 touchdown passes and no interceptions. Injured Packer is Antonio Freeman.
Well, that looks like he's got, see this? Whenever they start doing this, that means he's got some cramps in those calves. So that's a good sign. That kid has really got a future. He's got great quicks. He's got speed. He doesn't even know how good he's going to be yet. When he figures it out, that's going to elevate the Packers offense even more.
6:54 remaining in the fourth quarter, and we'll take a timeout. Tonight, Mad TV spoofs the movies and television with outrageous parodies of Get Shorty and Seinfeld. If you're tired of Saturday Night Live, check out Mad TV late night on Fox.
You know, the one guy that Edgar Bennett gets compared to a lot is right here, Roger Craig. Roger Craig was one of the great ones to play in his 49er system, and one of the real good players to play against. I mean, he was very, very competitive.
First down from the 20-yard line. Steve Young again can't find a receiver. Matt Labouty nearly got him. And Sean Jones nearly got him. And the pass is ruled incomplete. George Teague, who picked one off last week against Jeff George. And how frustrating has it been facing the coverage Steve Young has looked at today?
I'll tell you, look at Jerry Rice. Fritz Shermer has been playing man outside, zone underneath. He's taken Jerry Rice effectively away from the game, and also with Newsome on J.J. Stokes or John Taylor, they have not been able to give Steve Young any place to throw the football.
Second down and 10. What are you going to do? Defense has been just too tough. Young just got the snap in time. And there's a hit by Butler all over J.J. Stokes.
He read that all the way.
Stokes has got to still be feeling it. And a gain of 1 yard.
Take a look at Leroy Butler waiting for this thing to happen. I mean, it hurt, and you could feel it as bad as it sounded.
Third down and 9, and Brent Jones holds onto it for the first down. Fine catch with George Teague, and coming up lame is Jones, and he's got to come out of the game.
Brent Jones, every time I've watched him this year, he has just been beaten up. I mean, anytime you have more concussions than touchdowns, you've had a rough year.
Ted Popson replaces him at tight end. Hurry up offense. Stokes, the intended receiver, and it's incomplete. The rookie Craig Newsome covering. Want to remind you, at the end of this game, Matt and I will select the Miller Lite player of the game. Could be the coach of the game, huh?
I got to tell you, I would have a tough time picking it because Craig Newsome, Lenny McGill, Doug Evans, George Teague, Leroy Butler have all been unbelievable. This is the best I've seen them play. Not only in coverage, but also tackling.
Second and 10. Young escapes danger. Hey, if it hasn't been for Young running, the 49ers would be in deeper trouble if that's possible. John Yurkovich made the stop.
Yeah, what? I'm going to watch his coverage again. This is Lenny McGill. People all year have been saying, we got to attack McGill. You tell me where. There's no place to throw that ball at J.J. Stokes. And then on the other side with Jerry Rice, they're doing the same thing. Turn it over to the zone. Look at Pryor just waiting for him. You're not going to let Rice beat you. This coverage, I've never seen coverage this good this long.
They're going to measure for the first down, and there is Mike Pryor, who has been the 6th defensive back. They're short by about a foot. Young today has rushed 66 yards and has scored the only touchdown of the game for the 49ers. So
the other thing we have to talk about is you see it's coverage and you see the secondary, but they're also getting to Steve Young with sometimes only 3 guys. And when that defensive line is putting pressure on like that and you're able to create chaos, you're going to win. Fritz Shermer gets an A+. I mean, I'd go read those books just to find out how he did it.
I may even want to read a few of those. Brent Jones back in action. Third down and 1. And I don't know.
Did you see Steve Young there?
He didn't make it.
He may not have made it, and I don't know, but I'm going to tell you something. Did you see the willing to win right there? Look at him. Look at that face. This guy wants it so bad. That's why he is what he is. The guy's hanging on him, and he was still trying to struggle. You know, Fritz Shermer made a real interesting comment on him. He said, you know, if Steve Young wasn't throwing the football, he'd be an outstanding halfback in this league.
That's surprising the way he has run.
He didn't get it.
No, he's short by less. Actually, he made 6 inches on that last run. So it'll be 4th down with 5:16 to go. Fritz Shermer wants to stop right here.
Yeah, well, because he could smell the blood.
I got the ball, Bob. You go ahead. Wait for the change. Wait for the...
4th and inches. And he's got it. Steve Young with the first down.
Steve Young has been the whole 49er offense. He's taken a beating. They've knocked him down. They've frustrated him. The secondary has taken away coverage. He's had to be patient. To be honest with you, the offensive line hasn't given him that much time.
Niners have 2 timeouts remaining with under 5 minutes to go. Young gets some time, and the pass caught by Rice. And he is out of bounds in Green Bay territory in a first down. Lenny McGill covering. And a flag is thrown. He may have
Darius Holland's helmet is laying in the middle of the field.
Yurko still has his helmet.
They're going to mark this one on Bart Oates.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 66.
Oates threw Holland's helmet.
After the play, 15 yards.
Is that frustration?
That's
personified. Huh?
I'm going to tell you, that reminds me of the time when Lyle Alzado tore a Jets helmet off and then tried to hit him with it. He tore it off his head, and then he says, look, let me show you how far I can throw it.
And you get it.
Held him down, disarticulated his helmet, and threw it 20 yards down the field. It's a medical term I picked up.
Well, you bring your doctor friends on the road.
I got to tell you, Jerry Rice today makes the catch. Look at this. See that rack yard? That's run after the catch. Because of the great tackling that we've gotten in this game from the Green Bay Packers secondary, every time Rice has caught the ball, boom, he goes down.
He has not been an offensive force as he has been for the 49ers in the games they have won.
Doug Evans, Craig Newsome, been very, very good.
First down and 25. Back on the 44 of San Francisco. Pressure put on Young. He's going for Stokes. Incomplete. And a flag is thrown back at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they're going to get, I think, a late hit on Steve Young.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 55 defense, 15 yards, automatic first.
Yeah, watch Freddie Strickland is going to come all the way around. See? Nobody touches him. Ball's thrown. That's a good call.
Strickland, who played for Fritz Shurmur with the Rams. So Shurmur knew what he was getting in number 55 when he brought him to Green Bay. So that's what happens when it's 1st and 25. How do you get a first down? Penalty like that.
Now you're back where you started.
41-yard line of the Packers. 27-10 Green Bay. First down, and Steve Young pass. Caught by J.J. Stokes and pushed out of bounds by Newsome. And another first down at the 23.
Newsome that time slipped as he went to make his break. But look, at 4.5 minutes to go, the difference in this game today was the Green Bay Packer defense. We expected to see wrinkles from Fritz Shurmur. He gave it to you. He gave you 4 down linemen, 3 backers, 4 down linemen, 2 backers, 3 down linemen, 3 backers. He changed it up. He blitzed, zone blitz.
And the 49 attempts by Young, a new San Francisco playoff record. And he's not through. First down at the 23, going up top, intercepted.
Now he's through.
And Mike Pryor, the 3rd turnover of the game against the 49ers, as the Green Bay Packers on the verge of scoring a tremendous upset here in the divisional playoffs of the NFC. That's Young's first interception in the last 174 passing attempts in the postseason.
Well, he was just trying to go, and then the safeties are hanging over the top. He's trying to make a play to Lavelle. Pryor just hangs there. The ball took off on him. Interception. Again, this is all coverage down the field. He only went with 3 rushers. He had time to throw the football. He just had nowhere to throw it.
4:21 remaining as Pryor returns the interception. Ball is on the 7. Packers look like a team that they're going to continue to play. Edgar Bennett for a couple, and Ken Norton makes the tackle.
So when you take a step back and you put this thing in perspective, this is the biggest win that the Green Bay Packers have had really since 1968, 1967.
The days of Vince Lombardi.
Exactly. And they brought in Holmgren, and they expected him to do something, and he delivered.
And the Packers knew that until they won against a tough team on the road, they will not have proved anything. Well, they proved something today.
I'll tell you the guy you really have to credit for this thing. You pat Mike Holmgren on the back. He's done a great job. But Ron Wolf, the general manager, showed the vision and then also some tough decisions. particularly bringing Brett Favre in and giving away number one, and number 2 picks.
Reggie White, who said all along, Brett Favre is the leader of this team. He'll take us to places we haven't seen before. And he has. The last time the Packers played in any championship game is the familiar Ice Bowl. That was a frozen tundra that day at Lambeau Field against the Dallas Cowboys.
Minus 15 degrees. And you see, they're going to come with the most famous quarterback sneak in NFL history. And of course, it's Bart Starr. Caught everybody off guard. Just fouled the blocks right into the end zone. Boy, the game has changed so much since that time, hasn't it?
Lombardi wouldn't believe the kind of passing game it's been. He wouldn't believe that fan and what he looks like today. Or the cheeseheads. You know, that cheesehead saved someone in a plane crash. So
a lot of things have changed since that game, but the one thing that hasn't changed is great players have to play great when big games are on the line. And today, Brett Favre was exactly what they needed and got.
47 plays today for Reggie White, 19 last week. Question as to whether he would play. He started and played virtually the whole game. 3rd down and 4. And Edgar Bennett is stopped shy of the first down as we have less than 3.5 minutes remaining. And a timeout is called by the Niners, their last. Want to thank some people who have been part of these telecasts throughout this year and have done a terrific job. Our producer, Richie Zients. Director, Artie Kempner. Michael Frank, our associate director. The executive producers of Fox Sports, Ed Gorin and David Hill, and the tremendous work by Dean Walker and his crew of technicians, audio, video, videotape, you name it.
I'll tell you what's impressing me right now on that Packers sideline. They're about to go win the biggest game in 30 years. And they're on the sideline, and there's no jumping up and down because they know they have a championship game to play next week, and the task is not finished.
Craig Hendrick with the kick. Dexter Carter on the 45. And runs it into Packer territory at the 47 where Keith Crawford drops him. And so 3:17 remaining. And the Miller Lite players of the game, the entire Green Bay Packer defensive unit. And I know that you would underscore that one, Matt.
Absolutely. I don't think there's a guy out there on the field who has not played great today.
3:17 to go. Fritz Shermer is the one who orchestrated that defensive effort today. First down at the 47. Young being chased and thus throws it down.
Did you see Steve Young at the end?
Yeah, disgusted.
He's disgusted. Yeah, see, they're going to call him for intentional grounding because although he's outside the pocket, the ball has to go
to the line,
to or beyond the line of scrimmage. And all he's going to lose right here is a down.
Intentional grounding, number 8, offense, loss of down.
3:10 to go. Rookie Darius Holland. Tell you, many rookies have played a part. Talk about Henderson, Freeman, Holland for the Packers this year.
Newsome played very, very well. I mean, that bodes well for the future. You know what? I got to tell you, I got to go back to Ron Wolf. I think Ron Wolf has done a masterful job with his franchise. And he's not been afraid to make decisions, and he's not been afraid to make mistakes, and I think that's the key.
Second down and long, 23 to be exact. And the pass is dropped that time by Jerry Rice. And let's not forget, Matt, that Bryce Pop,
right,
who left this team, went to Buffalo, and a big part of the Buffalo Bills, a big defensive unit. Without Pop, and yet the team played their defensive game of the year today. Sterling Sharp, who was the great wide receiver, and Brett Favre learned to use all of his receivers and spread the ball around. 3rd down and 23. Matt LaBounty and Holland both miss Young, who goes across the field to Rice, who is buried after the catch. Fred Strickland, no gain after all of that, and another flag is thrown.
You know, at the beginning of the game, I said that the field looked great, but as this game's gone on, it's worn down, and you can see it. You know, Newsome slips.
Number 22 defense.
And they got the hold there on Lenny McGill, holding Jerry Rice. Well, these guys have been slipping all over the place from probably about the middle of the second quarter on. And that will give the 49ers another first down. You know, what a year that the 49ers have had, too. I mean, I got to tell you, there's only one successful team a year in the National Football League, and nobody understands that better than the 49ers. But what a rough year. I mean, Steve Young endured a lot, had shoulder surgery in the middle of the season, still came back to be able to make throws like that.
Brent Jones with another first down to the 35 of Green Bay. Pryor and Teague on the tackle. Clock continues to run. The Niners are out of timeouts.
The offensive line was beat up. Their defense, William Floyd, they lost a lot. They're going to have to address some things. They have to get a running game. Without a running game, they're one-dimensional.
Pass complete to Rice.
And although Rice is as great as he is, they proved today that you can defense just the pass. You cannot win and be one-dimensional.
But you know, Matt, they have Lavelle instead of Waters and Adam Walker instead of Floyd, and Taylor wasn't healthy. So a lot of the great firepower that the 49ers had on offense proved to be kind of a mirage other than Rice and Young down the stretch.
Yeah, and it still came down to Rice and Young. You're right. Now, and Jerry Rice was able to carry him so far, and Steve Young could have so much courage and toughness to take him so far, but when you only have one reliable dimension, you're not going anywhere.
Steve Young, as he have had many times today, running, and we're getting down to the 2-minute warning. And this is a team, though, that beat the Cowboys in Dallas and won 6 in a row, and we're riding high, seemingly ready to get home field advantage to defend their title. But all of that has disintegrated. 2-minute warning here in the fourth quarter. We'll be back. Tomorrow, the second half of the divisional playoff battle at Texas Stadium. The Philadelphia Eagles, Ray Rhodes, the coach of the year. The Dallas Cowboys, Troy Aikman, Rodney Peete. Will he have his voice to be able to be heard? That was an issue this week. Eagles and Cowboys tomorrow. And now these Packers, who have lost the last 2 years to Dallas in the playoffs, may yet get another chance. But the Eagles will have a say first.
Well, they say they needed a big win. Remember last week after the game, the Atlanta game, Mike Holmgren said, I guarantee we're going to go out there. See what he did? They took that Gatorade bucket and they emptied it so it doesn't end up on Mike Holmgren.
I don't think he'd mind. Maybe premature, though. Second down and 2. Young's pass for Rice. Incomplete. Want to remind you, coming up, the Cops 1-hour special, except on the West Coast. Well, the tone was set at the very outset. First offensive play of the game for the 49ers. A fumble by Adam Walker, picked up by Craig Newsome, who ran it in for a touchdown. And it was all downhill for the 49ers after that. Third down and 2 from the 16. Young again having trouble finding receivers. And he couldn't get to Brent Jones. And again, we go back to the play that set the tone from the very beginning, Matt.
Well, it was a big play, and it came down to Simmons, the linebacker. Just listen to this thing. You know the intensity. And you're right, that set the tone. And then as Craig Newsome took it in, with fear in his face when he got to the end zone, it was like, I knew it all the time.
And then Favre threw a couple of touchdown passes to Keith Jackson and Mark Shimura. And the only TD to this point by the Niners was Steve Young with a quarterback sneak in the third quarter. Fourth down and 2 for the 49ers. Up the middle to Derek Lavelle. First down inside the 5. Again, the 49ers cannot stop the clock with a timeout. If they can score, they'll go for the onside kick. That fella came prepared with signs, a cheat head, you name it. First and goal at the 3. It's tapped and caught by a 49er at about the 2-yard line. Well, since the start of this decade, no NFC team has ever lost after having a bye week. And 49ers about to go down. They have won the first playoff game. Every year, George Seifert had been head coach. And look at Mike Holmgren trying to suppress a smile.
And somehow I feel that Green Bay is a little warmer place right now.
I think they're way up there in the 90s.
But they also know that they have unfinished business. And I think that's what I'm impressed with right now, and I'm looking at that Green Bay sideline. There's not guys jumping up and down and all that stuff. Yeah, they're excited they won the game, but they know this is just another step.
And the man you can credit for that is Mike Holmgren.
Well, you know, in
the team
retrospect,
bubbles its lead.
I agree. And in retrospect, Kathy Holmgren probably wishes she had come to the game.
3rd down and goal. And the touchdown, Derek Lavelle got over with 50 seconds remaining. Too little, too late for the 49ers. And the score now 27-16 in favor of the Pack. And already celebration time as Reggie White hugging Mike Holmgren. This is an incredibly satisfying moment for that man to come back against the team he coached for 6 years and beat them when they were world champions. Extra point by Jeff Wilkins, and the kick is good, and the score now Packers 27, the Niners 17. And they know that onside kick is coming.
Boy, that Keith Jackson, he had a good game today too, didn't he? They came and they started this game. They said at the start, this is the most prepared that we have been. You know, I know something that really showed today. They came out confident, and they came out competitive. Those DBs covered. Favre was hot. That was the difference in the game.
And they're playing the Niners on their field, and you couldn't tell the difference. Packers were not at all affected by the fact that this was a road playoff game. And they had a short week to get ready versus the bye week for the 49ers.
And they did everything they said they had to do. You know, they got hits on Steve Young. They were able to take away the timing of the offense. They got first downs and moved the ball with them offensively, and then got the touchdowns when they had to.
Onside kick coming up, and all of the hands people for the Packers right about the 40-yard line. And Shimura lost it, and the Niners. Question is, did it go 10 yards?
Yeah, but there's a flag down.
There's a penalty.
The ball has to go 10 yards before the kicking team can touch it. However, if the receiving team touches it prior to that, that's a free ball.
Right, and I think they did. Shimura came up and did it. Well, let's see if there's a penalty.
They look like they're going to get an offsides right here.
Number 89 of the receiving team was offside. That penalty is declined. First down.
Yeah, see Shimura right there? He's offside right there with that foot. And then if you're going to be offside, that's one thing, but you better catch the ball when it comes to you.
Ryan O'Neal recovered for the 49ers. So they made good on the onside kick. Mark Shimura, who caught a touchdown pass and is headed for the Pro Bowl. 48 seconds remain. And the 49ers trailed by 10 points. It would help their cause if they had a timeout remaining, but they don't. And a prevent defense set up by Fritz Shermer. 59 attempts, 31 completions for Young, new record in the playoffs for the 49ers. Young underneath to Jerry Rice, incomplete. Keith Crawford defended. has not been a big day for Jerry Rice, even though he has gone over 100 yards with 10 catches. He did not have any yards after the catch and 4 drops.
Yeah, this is the thing. That no yards after the catch and then 4 drops is very uncharacteristic. And I got to tell you, you got to credit the tackling of the secondary of the Green Bay Packers.
2nd and 10. Replay. Their penalty was thrown and apparently was against the Packers. And Young was sacked back at the 25 by Fred Springer.
Offside, 98 defense. 5 yards, 2nd down.
41 seconds remain. Jerry Rice also did not catch a touchdown pass, and it's interesting, in their 5 losses coming into this game, Rice caught only 1 touchdown pass in their defeats.
You know, the other interesting thing is that Brett Favre has had the great year, but Jerry Rice had the best year of his career, and he was runner-up for the MVP. But I mean, there's a big argument you could have made that Rice should have been the MVP.
You're right. And the hook and ladder, Rice to Lavelle and out of bounds. So the hook and ladder play works. George Teague knocked him out of bounds, and it's another 1st down.
I mean, this just shows you that they're not going to give up, that they're still trying to win with 35 seconds left to go. They can get the quick score and get it back again. They got themselves a shot with a field goal.
And why should they, down by 10 points?
And they're all right here. They got to score right away, like right now.
4 wide receivers, 3 line up to the right on 1st and 10. Strickland chases Young, and incomplete as Lavelle couldn't gain control. And now 28 seconds or so show on the clock.
Yeah, and look at the concern still on Holmgren's face, because he knows it's not over till it's over.
Amazing how coaches never feel it's over until you got the 0-0.
George Seifert was very concerned this week. We went to practice, and he was tight all week long because he knew, and he said earlier, that this was the strongest first-round playoff game this team that they'd ever played, in his mind.
2nd down and 10. Young slips, and the pass nearly picked off by Keith Crawford, intended for Jerry Rice. That'll bring up 3rd down with 23 seconds remaining.
I guess when things are going well, it goes well for everybody. Crawford does everything right. The only thing he doesn't do is complete the play by making the catch. And that's the difference between a good play and a great play.
So it'll be 3rd down and 10. Oh yeah, the Packer team is a team with a lot of depth. Mike Holmgren.
Surprising depth. There's a lot of people.
Young's pass nearly intercepted by Doug Evans. He slipped and still nearly made the pick.
You know, what the Packers proved today was that they could beat a one-dimensional passing team. But what they haven't been able to do yet is prove that they can beat a team that has balance, particularly with a strong run game. And when they've played the Dallas Cowboys, Emmitt Smith has been able to just eat them alive. And if they get to that point, or Philadelphia, who runs the ball well, that will be the big test.
You're right. That's been the reason why the Cowboys have beaten them. Steve Young has tied an NFL playoff record with 64 pass attempts. 4th down and 10. And now he's going to break the record. And going deep into a crowd. And Craig Newsome picks it off for a Packer interception, and their 4th turnover of the game. And what a fitting finish to this one. 9 seconds remaining. And the Packers will take over on the 20-yard line, and fans can be celebrating in Packerland. Green Bay will go on and face the winner of the Dallas-Philadelphia game, which will be played tomorrow on Fox. That game will come up next Sunday. You're right, Matt. Most significant win for the Green Bay Packers since the days of Vince Lombardi in Super Bowl II. And a triumphant return for Mike Holmgren. Hail the conquering hero, and Mike Holmgren comes back to his hometown and beats his former team.